Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Monday episode of the No Contest Wrestling Podcast. But it's actually a Tuesday episode.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, so whatever.
Good to see y'all. I am the heel that you love to hate, O'Shea Jackson Jr., a.k.a. Petty Guerrero. And yes, I'm not wearing socks.
Yeah, I was looking. Lotion would have been your friend today. Listen, It's me. Hey, yo. It's me. It's the TOOJIGG, too jiggy, and I do moisturize. And, yeah, I'm TJ Jefferson. What's up, y'all?
We don't need to know about your personal life.
Listen, I ain't ashy. That's all I'm trying to say.
Happy for you, man.
Unlike them ankles. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. You know, I'm out here living just enough for the city.
There you go.
I feel like we have to start things off right. So I do want to, I know you have a tribute as well, but we have to give a rest in peace to Bobby Mo Horn, who passed away.
If you don't know.
Yeah, what is it? Man on a Mission. Man on a Mission, man.
Mabel, Oscar, and Mo.
Yeah, so, you know, just to give our condolences to his family and everybody who loved him in between. Rest in peace, brother. And you had one as well?
You know, for me, you know, I quote a lot of different songs. I'm very much into hip hop, but I like all types of music, man. But back in the early 80s, and this is, believe it or not, I was so young. This is before I was even into pro wrestling. But I had a friend, and my friend had an older brother. He was like 8-9 years older than him, you know, big brother. And over at their house one day, he had albums, and I saw a Kiss album. And I opened it up, and I could not believe at that young age what I saw. I saw a guy, you know, breathing fire and spitting blood, you know, and a guy playing drums looked like a cat, and this dude with a star in his eye. But there was a dude on there that, for whatever reason, just kind of grabbed me, man, and that was the Spaceman. That was Ace Frehley. And for whatever reason, and I don't know, maybe my mom still has one or two of these tucked in the box somewhere. When I was in about second grade, when you first really start to, you know, write and everything, I probably knew in first grade, I used to sign my papers. This is a true story. TJ Ace Frehley Jefferson.
Wow.
Until my teacher told my mom that I was doing it, and they made me stop. But there was just something about there was something about Ace Frehley, man. He had that guitar that the smoke would billow out of and looked like a sparkler was on fire. And it just, I don't know, that was always my favorite member of Kiss. I always liked Kiss, but, you know, Ace Frehley passed away last week at 74. And, you know, it kind of hit me at that point that, like, man, I really did love, you know, these guys. And he really was like my first favorite rock star before, like I said, hip hop really hadn't even hit the scene yet. You know, there was Rapper's Delight, but other than that, there was a gap where, you know, I at least what there was out there, I didn't know. But yeah, I was big into Kiss, probably because of the paint and the theatrics and everything else. But yeah, just a shout out and a rest in peace to the Spaceman Ace Frehley here. And yeah, man, one of the legends. So
absolutely. See, I try to make my tribute. I didn't have nobody's merch, but all dogs go to heaven, man. What you know about that? Jack shit.
Yeah, because
you don't know
the
nothing.
Rainbow Bridge, I know. We have different interests, you know what I'm saying? Obviously,
but
different interests.
We still figured out how to get this tag team together,
That is
which
true.
is kind of like the tag team that we're going to have on the show.
Yeah, man.
Fraxiom will be joining the No Contest Wrestling Podcast. Man.
Axiom and Nathan Frazer, man. It's like just two guys who just seem very, very different. You know, Nathan's like the Tasmanian devil in the ring. You know, this brother's going 175 miles per hour, you know, just there's times where I watch him, I'm like, B, you need to slow down a little, dog. You know, and then you got Axiom, who's just a calculated, like,
it's rare the guy in the mask is the calm,
right? But you could tell through his interviews, you could tell just by listening to him, he's very intelligent, he's very calculated, but he's also got a screw or two loose, as witnessed when he did that, you know, the moonsault onto the two tape, right after SummerSlam, So we get to interview them, and we got a special, you know. You and I were talking about how we can kind of make this podcast a little bit bigger by expanding into other sports. So we reached out, or you in particular reached out. We talked about it. You reached out because your reach is a little longer than mine, just by reach, not by anything else. And, you know, we reached out to a guy who's a huge wrestling fan. Yeah. He's been on the Rich Eisen show multiple times. He and I once sang the Hey Bailey song together, and that is
Hey Diddle Diddle. We done got George Kittle will be joining us on the No Contest Wrestling Podcast. Being the Los Angeles Ram that I am, I am going to strictly keep it wrestling because, man, they are a pain in my ass.
And, of course, my day job mandates that I put some football questions in there, you know. But a lot of WWE superstars are 49ers fans. Yesterday, they had a game, the primetime Sunday night game, and all over Instagram, there are videos and pictures of Bailey and the Usos and Sister Trinity, Naomi, LA Knight, CM Punk, Roxanne Perez. They were all there at the 49ers game. I'm a Cowboys fan. I hate the Niners. I'm just going to say this.
Disgusting.
And George Kittle and I have discussed this, so it's not going to be news to him. Okay. But then he also throws our record lately at me whenever I say something to him. Then I have to shut up because I ain't got nothing else to say. That's true. Yeah, the WWE was very well represented at the Levi Stadium yesterday as the Niners took on the Atlanta Falcons. And yeah, man, I'm a little tired. I'm knackered, as they say, Shay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's a little international. A
little tired. Well, you know, I was in London for the last couple of days, just got home Sunday night, last night. And I got to be honest, bro, you know, with the Rich Eisen show, we took it to London for a few days. Rich was over in London for about 10 days calling last week's London NFL game and this yesterday's game between the Rams and the Jaguars. And so, you know, we flew out. We did our show from an ABC newsroom, which was kind of crazy, pretty dope. I mean, this is serious journalists in this building, man. But I got to share something with you, man, and I got to share something with everybody out there watching this. Chris Brockman and I, we traveled to London together. We get off the plane. We are walking towards customs. And as we approach customs, I get stopped by a guy. His name's Arian. And he says, "I love your podcast." And I went, What? He goes, "Yeah, your wrestling podcast with Ice Cube, son. I love it." And I was like, "Bro, are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we took a picture together. And I was really kind of bugging out about this, you know, because literally the first person I spoke to was him once I got off the plane. Like, didn't speak to anybody. And as we were, you know, making our way to, you know, go through passport and everything. And it was kind of a trip, bro, to know that what we do or what we've done so far has made it, you know, across the pond, as they say, to the point where a guy would recognize me in a crowd of literally hundreds of people walking through the same area. It was dope. It was, you know, it was I don't want to say overwhelming, but it was really cool.
It was a good moment.
And then the next day I'm going to work. Like I said, we're at the ABC newsroom on 3 Queen Carolyn Street in London. And I walk in, and this other guy, security guard outside, he sees me and he goes, "Yo," he goes, "I love your wrestling podcast." And I was like, "Really, man?" And he's like, "Yes." He goes, "I saw Rich Eisen come in earlier." He goes, "I started to shake." He goes, "I love your show." That show, he goes, "But then I saw you," and he goes, "I love the wrestling podcast." He said, "I bet you didn't expect someone here to say that." And I was like, well, it's funny. Yeah, you know. Just yesterday, a guy at the airport said it, and he said to me, my man, he was like, "Yeah, you guys are international." I mean, and so
we are internationally known.
I got to be honest with you. For you, you know, you grew up, you do your movies and everything. You get that a lot. I'm gonna be very honest with you folks. I ain't nobody, man. I'm just this dude from Altoona, a kid from Altoona. And the fact that someone on another continent, in another country, across an ocean, recognized something that we've done and we like built, it was kind of mind blowing. And they both were literally just kind of happy to see me. And it was like, wow. I mean, you obviously throughout your movies, travels, you get this hundreds of times. But like I said, someone like me, you know, I've always been like the man sitting next to the man when you know who my friends are. And yeah, man, it was just like, wow.
Yeah, listen, you international now, so I know you just a man from Altoona. But that's TJ the Big Tuna to y'all.
Listen, don't.
Tuna.
Don't.
TJ Big Tuna. Hashtag Big Tuna.
Don't. You will get blocked.
Hashtag Big Tuna.
You'll get the first person I see is getting blocked. I'm blocking you.
Big Tuna.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it was cool though. It was really cool to know that we got motion internationally. Like he literally said it. He goes, "You guys are international."
Yeah.
Like, wow. You
better recognize or step aside because there is no contest, baby. That's dope.
Yeah, man. So I needed.
Boy, I know your head was this big out there.
Nah, it was like I said. It was just. Here's what was cool. Chris Brockman was with me.
Good. Right, he should see it.
Because he's the type, Brockman's the type who, if I would have told that to, if I told him that, he would have been like,
didn't.
Yeah, right. He would have rolled his eyes like no one cared. But the fact is, he was there for both times, and he sat there and witnessed it. So yeah, I did like that a little bit. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Anyone out there who's taking time out of their day, there are literally hundreds of wrestling podcasts that you all could be watching. And the fact that, man, if this sounds corny or whatever, the fact that you take an hour or two out of your week to just listen to us knuckleheads, fan out over wrestling, man. It's pretty dope. Whoa,
2 hours. Don't tell Don Bowie that.
Yeah, right. He wants 45. If it's up to Don, we do a 10-minute podcast.
Got the kendo stick ready for us, bro. We be rambling. But yeah, we got a good show today. Yeah. I heard you about to get in my ear,
yeah. Don wants to do 15 minutes, and then that's it.
Yeah, I know. But so we got a jam-packed show for y'all. We won't be getting too much into Raw per se, but what all signs are kind of looking like, Seth Rollins is probably going to have to vacate that title.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly he's hurt. I ain't going to fall for the okie doke again because I
don't believe nothing. Like, now, TJ, I need your help. Yeah, whatever.
Right. I told you, he don't live far from the crib. If you be like, yo, I need help opening some, open.
Get it yourself.
Bro, you better call somebody else.
Yes.
Can help you.
So vacated title.
I have a feeling that the vision's not over.
Damn it.
Yeah, I don't think so, O'Shea Jackson Jr. I feel like something's going to happen big. Obviously, they got to have a tournament. They got to do something if Seth really is vacating that world title. So that's going to be one story, but I can't just see it being the Bronze and Paul. I feel like in order to build this up, someone's got to be added to this faction. Yeah. Someone or someone's.
Yeah, listen, there was a couple of shots of Braun Breaker leaving the ring with that title.
Yeah,
and it looked kind of sick.
Well, I mean, it's bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, at some point, but like.
Oh, I got a question real quick.
I got to answer real quick.
Does that mean Becky's out the vision too? What if?
Oh, here he go with this bullshit. I saw the light bulb.
What if Becky is the one who ordered the hit on Seth and got
It's going to make it so uncomfortable for Thanksgiving.
And got him booted out like Creative Liberty. What if this is all a Becky Lynch production, man?
Here you go, man. Now we breaking up homes. What is happening, man?
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
there's
look,
children involved.
Even better. What if it's Rue? What if Rue's the mastermind?
What if it was Rue's teacher?
Yeah, man.
Rue told.
Right. What if Rue's teacher, the one she told about her dad not having a real boo boo? I don't know. There's a lot that could go on. Maybe Rue didn't like a time she wanted her bedtime change, and she's like, nah, this ain't it.
See that? This is why they think that AI is writing storylines.
Yeah, what is that? That's a story for another day.
That's not happening.
It can happen.
Paul Heyman is not AI. I've seen him. I shook his hand.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
True. Yeah,
guys.
But yeah, so something big's going to happen with that, man. You think the vision is over? I think that it could still be in play.
One eye is a little lazy, at least. They looking like a chameleon right now. But like, I can't. As long as Seth's not there, I'm fine. And I am introducing my new thing to annoy you, my tiny violin. Mm-hmm. And now, anytime that I gotta hear about this damn vision and how it was cut short too early, I'm gonna play this little violin. I'm gonna also play it whenever I talk about the New York Mets.
First of all, I don't know why you would bring the Mets up at all. Like we're in basketball season. Two things.
I'm not in the World Series.
Two things. One, it was 2:30 in the morning in London. Brockman, Jason Feller, and I are in my hotel room, and we're watching the Dodger game on my laptop.
Yeah.
And we caught the third strikeout in the bottom of the first inning by Ohtani, right? So I didn't quite even realize he had 3 Ks. But then he came up in the bottom of the first.
Mm-hmm.
and he smashed that home run. And I was like, when does that ever happen? When does anyone ever strike somebody out and hit a home run? Yeah. And then a few innings later, he hit that second joint. Brockman and Feller happened to be looking at something on the phone, and I literally went, holy and he hit that ball. I think it just passed the studio about 5 minutes ago. And then he hits a third one. And then he struck out 7 more cats. Bro, I know this has nothing to do with wrestling, but wow, you were about to witness something so cold, and we did. Yeah. That Reggie Jackson is Mr. October, with all due respect. 3 home runs, 3 pitches, 3 swings. That can never be touched. But the fact that Ohtani struck out 10 and hit 3 bombs. Yeah. To get them to the World Series, man. Like, if you didn't watch that, I can tell you for sure you missed. I'm not one for hype like this, but I'll just throw 10. No, 5. That was one of the 5 greatest sports performances of all time. And if you say it's number 1, I am going to push the mic away, and I ain't going to argue with you about it.
Hey, man, all I know is shout out to Don Bowie. He wants to bring up a fact. Yeah.
This is not us saying this. Yeah. This is our producer.
Our producer, Don Bowie, wanted me to let you guys know that Shohei Ohtani is Asian. Yes, Don. I told them, okay?
In case you're wondering, Don is also Asian.
Yeah, Don, I told them, okay?
Got it, yeah.
Yeah, he's Asian. All right, yeah, there he is. The greatest of all time right there, baby. And he's a Dodger. Thanks, Angels. Appreciate y'all, man.
The fact is, this dude started liking baseball Game 1 of the World Series last year, but now he's the biggest.
No. I started really loving baseball.
It was last year
against the Padres.
It was last year. It's not like you were a lifelong fan.
No. I will not run away from that. Baseball needs more dunks and touchdowns. Okay. But it's really awesome when you start to figure out the game. And it's even better when you have
the best.
The greatest team.
And then you have Mookie Betts, who's one of the best in the world.
I mean,
you got Freddie Freeman, who's the best in the world. And you ain't paying Shohei Ohtani any money until the year 2085. Yeah. So it's like, by the way, I hope I never come off as a Dodger hater.
Because, okay, you don't.
Yeah, because my grandfather, who everyone knows that knows me, knows my grandpa was my best friend. As all black men of that age at that time, Brooklyn Dodger fans, obviously. Became an LA Dodger fan. It is kind of a mystery to me because he and I were so close. Why the Dodgers weren't my favorite team? Because all signs
because you're a confusing enigma.
I guess so, but
no sense.
But so no, I got mad love for the Dodgers strictly for the fact that being a kid, I can remember trying to sleep at night in Dodger games, on the East, coming on late. And my grandpa and his friends, Mr. Charlie and Mr. Shaky, they'd come over to our house and sit in the living room, and you just hear them yelling Tommy Lasorda this and Steve Garvey that, and yeah, they were old school Dodger fans, man. So I got love for the Dodgers, and it just makes me think of my grandpa and his friends, and so.
Oh yeah, I like to also shout out with of course the love to Shohei. But, we got a 3-headed monster, our version of King Ghidorah on the Dodgers, and that involves Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki. Respect to the Milwaukee Brewers fans. We don't like beer over here. We like sake at the Dodgers, baby. So, let's get to our guest, bro.
Yeah, man. This is our first guest, man. Just a great young up-and-coming tag team. Just made their debut on SmackDown a few years ago, but they both been in the game for years, as the late great Notorious Big once said.
Yeah, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Fraxiom. Joining the No Contest Wrestling Podcast is a tag team that's they've had some hardware back in their time at WWE
for a lengthy amount of time.
Being 2-time NXT tag team champions, now you could catch them on SmackDown because they moved on up.
Of course.
They were voted the number 2 tag team in the world last year. All right.
I have that noted.
Yeah. So please, y'all give it up for Axiom and Nathan Frazer, a.k.a. Fraxiom, in the building. Thank you, guys.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, fellas?
Good to be here. I was saying, before we got on, this is our first ever co-interview that we've ever done.
Really?
And Yeah. So like basically like this is Axiom's like worst nightmare coming to life.
We've actually talked about this.
Like he's gone on record by saying like I hate that idea because I just don't know what you're gonna say. I have no control.
I was literally going to ask that. Is that the reason why? Because does he think you might take this too far in one way or the other, Nathan?
No, look, like there's a first time for everything, and this is the first time. So, hopefully many more in the future, right? Right, amigo?
Yeah, something like that.
And I was saying earlier, Shay, I didn't know if Axiom was going to have like an interview style mask where the mouth was cut out. I didn't know what this was going to look like, and it looked like how he looks.
Solid, man. So
we're everywhere, so this is what you get.
yeah, so before the interview started, I mentioned that you were in your lair. Where are you, man? What's going on? Are you fighting crime? What's happening?
Well, I mean, you could say that. I am currently in my gaming room. I had been playing some Pokemon Legends CA. You could say I've been fighting crime.
Right, and hold on. What's the team?
Game just like in the pitch black.
Yeah, that's the gaming room, bro.
What's going on? What's going on with the T-shirt? Do I see some Saiyan hair? Do I see some?
Oh yeah, some Goku.
Oh, that's the goat right there, TJ.
Goku's the goat,
bro. I swear.
Over Mario and Luigi,
bro. If you don't get out of here with this nonsense, you're embarrassing me in front of company.
I'm just saying, like,
man, one is an anime, one is like the goat.
Also, like Donkey Kong. Then, like, is he better than Donkey Kong?
So let's get into wrestling.
Nathan, do you do any gaming yourself, or are you like me when it comes to this?
Yeah. I'm a very avid gamer. I'm sure a lot of people would agree online. Mm-hmm. I'm currently getting absolutely cooked on social media for my Steam library right now. I'm just a very simple man. Like I enjoy, the standard stuff like FIFA, COD, GTA.
Okay.
And like the choice games where like anyone can live, anyone can die based on the decisions you make. I like those a lot. I don't really venture out too much past that. I personally am under my mindset is just like make the most out of the games that you have. Don't just go to the next game or the next game. Like I just I like to just get the good mileage out of the games that I've got. I run them on like a bunch of mods as well, so it's not like just the base games, but yeah, no, it's been quite the topic of conversation recently. How in which my tag partner has judged me heavily for it.
Axiom, what are some of the games you like to play? I am a long time TJ, long time lover of Pokemon. I'm from the original Kanto region. All right, red version. You don't know nothing about this, but just know I'm about my Pokemon. But please,
bro, I take my gaming laptop on the road with us. Like to kind of pass the time where there's time to be passed. And like this weekend, he was like, "Nah, I'm not," because we've got like a FIFA career mode that we play like co-op, and he was like, "Sorry, mate, I'm not playing one bit this weekend. I've got the new Pokemon." I'm like,
"Yeah, you gotta lock in."
I'm locked in Pokemon right now. I've played every single game, as you said, since Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow to Legends CA that came out literally this weekend, right? And I haven't stopped playing since. But very differently to Nathan, I play a lot of games, and then it has to be really good for me to stay with the game. But yeah, I try a lot of games, and I'm a big gamer.
Yeah, as a gamer myself, I've tried the Nathan approach, but sometimes like we're in such a world right now where they'll even put a game out that's not even finished and then update it, and then you're supposed to be waiting for it to really pop off. Lord knows I've been face deep into Monster Hunter lately because they just had their update and it's pretty good one. It's TJ. I know we're just speaking a foreign language to you, but I have to.
It's a foreign language to me, but to a lot of our listeners, they know exact. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm listening and learning. Please continue.
Yeah. Well, listen. There's this big machine named Omega that I've been really getting irritated with, and as a single black father, I have to spread my time evenly.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a problem. But gaming is a great way for meditation.
Okay.
It relaxes the
I would
mind.
heavily disagree.
Well,
I really would.
Now, why is that, Nathan?
Things can go wrong. That's all I can say. Things can go wrong in gaming, and it can, ruin the course of your entire day. But it's fine.
Now we have a mutual. Shout out to my dog, my buddy over there in France, Mr. Hang 'em High. Now I mentioned Hang 'em High earlier, Nathan, and you shook a little bit.
Man's my arch nemesis. But you know what? He's my arch nemesis, but he begs me for a follow every single time, and I don't give it to him.
Follow him.
I said, because I've just recently launched a Twitch at Evil Banana. Don't ask me about the name. I came up with it when I was 10.
All right.
I've just been waiting for the right time to use it. He's just shaking his head. And I said, look, if you want this follow back, you can play me on FIFA, and if you win, I'll even donate $100 for you to give away to your followers. But you're not winning, and you're not getting that follow. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. Shout out to Hang 'em High. It's really Triple H. It's a long story too.
Okay, yeah.
But let's get into a little bit about you guys and your journey, into the squared circle. When did each of you get bit by the wrestling bug, where you knew this is what you wanted to do?
So I think when I was 10 years old, my dad was flipping through the wrestling channels, and he just I don't know, I think he went into the other room and he left SmackDown on, and my 10-year-old self saw Batista just spine buster the Great Khali, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. And from then I just never grew out of it, whilst everybody else did. And I just went I think if I did this, I'd be quite good at it. So I think my love for wrestling, instead of dying out like everybody else, it just intensified greatly. And as soon as I got in a wrestling ring, I was very fortunate, because I come from an island called Jersey. It's 9 miles that way, 5 miles that way. It's 100,000 people tops. It's in between England and France. And there was just one place that you could go and wrestle there. And it's the only place in the Channel Islands, which is a group of 4 different islands in between England and France. So I was immediately, once I got in the ring and took my first bump, I was yeah, this is what I'm going to do forever. So, and then everything, just worked out like a movie. So here I am talking to you guys.
Yeah, for me, very similar in many ways. I am from Madrid, Spain, and there were literally maybe 10, 12 people that wanted to wrestle at the same time that I did. So we tried to figure it out on our own, just, trying things and stuff. And then, I started when I was 10 years old, training. And then 2012, I made my debut. And a few years later, I'm lucky enough to travel the world, know these world-class wrestlers that teach me. And I'm fortunate enough to share the ring with. And, the rest is history. Make it to WWE and all the way to SmackDown.
Now, take us through the creation of Fraxiom. And what number one, we could tell you guys get along. I love the chemistry between you guys.
I think ironically we do. But I'm so serious. There isn't anything that right off the bat we just agree on ever, which I think is part of the charm. Because I think we're so similar. We've got so many similarities, so many little things where you go these two were meant to be a tag team. But also we're just completely different wrestlers and completely different people. But we kind of come together and form this kind of I don't know, brotherly love. And I guess brothers, they always argue and fight, don't
you
they?
Got
so
to.
But the one thing we do always agree on is our love for wrestling. So when we had these matches in NXT in the 2.0 days, they put us in a best of 3, And I think like that was our time where we wanted to really just showcase to everybody just like how good we were, showcase to like the fans how good we were, to the office and to ourselves. And we went out there, like we killed it every time, and that got like really good reviews. But I think the timing of us becoming a tag team was just kind of perfect. And I think when we first got in the ring and had our first match and things just clicked instantly, we were like, there might be something here. Because I don't think we ever thought we'd ever be singles wrestlers ever. Like if I were to dream up all of my dreams in wrestling, like from, for example, when I started when I was 16 years old, being a tag team was never on the list ever. But as soon as we got in the ring, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. It just works. So yeah, it was. I think like once we got into the ring, and I think we immediately knew there was something there. But again, like the long-term plan wasn't ever to really be a tag team, was it? So even after we came together.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally out of nowhere. But there is something about tag team wrestling that is so special, right? Like when you have these long matches and everything kind of clicks and the crowd is really into it. There are more people in the ring. So like the action you can get in tag team wrestling is way higher than it is in singles wrestling. And there's something about that magic that still fascinates me. Of course, I love singles wrestling. I love every kind of wrestling, really. But getting to do it with someone like Nathan, who's very explosive and like, getting my mind into it and applying my holds and submissions and form this creation that was Fraxiom. It was one of the best times in our careers, I have to say.
For sure. And like I said, it wasn't even really like the long-term plan to even remain a tag team. I'm sure you remember just us just bickering back and forth for just what seemed like months on TV. And that was actually just gonna eventually lead to, of course the plan was originally to split us. And I wanted to actually take my character in more of a heel role, because I don't know if you're like the hard-hitting home truth character. I originally wanted that to be like a heel guy. Like I would go into promo class and just brainstorm this character, and I would just like pick something and just go crazy, just like just off the rip, just like rant and all that kind of stuff, and just like essentially just like roast people. But obviously, like when I came back from my injury, they wanted it to still be kind of babyface. But I think the long-term plan was always that I wanted to be a heel, especially like with the character. And they were like, well, we want to build to that. And that's, I think, what caused them to be like, okay, I think that there's a good dynamic between Axiom and Nathan on TV. We'll put them together and eventually lead to a split. And I think it was around like November, December time where everything was just clicking and firing on all cylinders, where we just both went to Sean and we were like, Sean, don't do it. Please don't do it. Like, it's working way too well. We have a better chance of being called up to the main roster as a tag team as well. We're really enjoying what we're doing. And like, this is the first that no one knows, but in an alternate universe, which I'm very glad that we don't live in, Stand and Deliver wouldn't have been Nathan Frazer and Axiom versus Hank and Tank. Stand and Deliver would have been Nathan Frazer versus Axiom, mask versus hair.
Oh no!
That was the North Star that everybody agreed on. But we said to them, like, don't do it.
Yeah, let's too good.
And then Sean went like, I think that's a great idea. I think you guys are like really smart about that, because like, a lot of people like want to go off on their own and they want their own success, and it's all kind of like me. But you guys are recognizing that it's really working. You guys have something special, and I couldn't agree with you more. So yeah, let's continue with the tag team and see where it goes. And then here we are, man. So I think it was a very good decision. Although like whoever would have won, we just don't know. We don't know.
This is Axiom's greatest fear right here.
Yeah, right here.
It's happening in front of my eyes. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
And that's what it is. Like, this is a good story to tell.
I like tag team wrestling with Axiom. It's great. It's fantastic. We're a great tag team. That's it.
We gotta give the people something, man.
That's right.
You have to work for it. You just gave it. Oh my God.
I love it, dude. I love it.
So, okay, so
he's gonna have a talk with me after this interview now.
With a grain of salt, it's Nathan's word.
for someone who has a mask on, I was completely and totally reading his face the entire time without telling me anything. He told me everything just by his head movement and body. All right, so let's get away from the tag team for a quick second, just so he doesn't lose his cool right here. Axiom, before you got to NXT, you traveled all around the world wrestling, and you spent you had a match or two with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so O'Shea hadn't seen PWG before, and I was lucky enough to go to about 3 or 4 cards there. Can you share what made that place that not a bingo hall necessarily, but more as like a VFW type place in Reseda? What made Pro Wrestling Guerrilla so great? Because there are so many at this point going to be legendary performers that spent time there and worked there.
Well, I wasn't lucky enough to wrestle at Reseda, like the original iconic venue.
You did the downtown version.
Yes,
okay,
that's correct.
Okay, and that's still a beautiful venue.
Of course, yeah. I would argue it's more beautiful, right? But the other one has this aura with it that
It definitely smells better. That's for sure.
I can't tell you that. But it's very funny, right? Because once I started like my pro wrestling journey, like training and trying to become the best wrestler that I could, obviously I found out about PWG, right? It was this company in Los Angeles that put out this crazy long, like really, really action-packed wrestling matches. And I didn't know who the people were. Like, obviously, it wasn't WWE or anything. And I was fascinated by it. It was something special. Like, the crowd was really into it. And I couldn't get enough of it, right? So, like, every month or so that they release shows, I bought the DVDs and, like, I watch every single match in that DVD and you try to learn from the craft. And it's very funny because if you look at, the WWE roster right now, most of the people that I watch in those DVDs are currently wrestling with us or we're sharing a locker room with.
Yep.
And, it tells you how much passion can get you in this business, right? Because that's really what it is. Like any fan that watched PWG at that time could feel the passion from those performers and that they wanted to reach, a higher ceiling. And, being able to actually compete in PWG was obviously a dream of mine.
Yeah, I wish, man, you could have, and I hope they come back out because what happened was you would know on this date at this time, like the website would open, and then thousands upon thousands of people would try to get tickets. And there was only X amount of tickets that you could get, and it was, if you weren't lucky enough to get in there, you had to wait till the next time because it was an experience, man. It was really cool. And as for you, Nathan, once you made your way over to America, you started training with a very familiar face to the entire wrestling world. Can you share the story of who trained you here and where that happened?
Yeah, man. So I went over to the States in 2016 on a soccer scholarship to a university in Tennessee Wesleyan University. Okay. And I thought that's my ticket in because at the time there hadn't been that like UK indie wrestling boom that kind of took place in like 2017, 2018 time. So in 2016, I was like, okay, if I want to get to WWE, where do I need to go? Where all the wrestling is. So I was like, I'm going to use soccer, which I played my whole life, which my dad really wanted me to be a pro soccer player. But I was like, sorry. My heart's not really in it. But I went over and I was about 2 years in and I saw that, because I was training locally at some places, but I never really had like any professional training before. And I was looking at places and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, Seth Rollins has a school. So I begged my mom and dad, I was like, please, like, can you just front me the money and I will pay you back one day? And which now I have, which is that's cool. But I applied, got accepted, and went over there in the summer of 2018. And man, it was a crazy experience because he was really, really present for those 3 months that I was training. Like, I think he only missed like 1 or 2 training sessions because of birthdays or something, or he was away. on like a European tour, but he was very present, and I got to build like a rapport and a relationship with him. And I got to come back like every like summer break from college. I would just come back and spend time at the school and just train and wrestle in the Midwest as well and build my connections there. But just to kind of, I don't know, just to say that, hey, Seth Rollins trained me is very cool in and of itself. But to have like an active like rapport with him, like I can send him like any match that I have, and like he'll always get back to me with like some really like awesome like detailed critique. He really cares about the next generation of wrestlers and kind of like leaving his stamp on the industry also like that, because I think his legacy isn't necessarily only going to be what he does. It's going to be kind of the knowledge that he passed down onto future generations and what that generation does with the information. So I'm like damn proud to be a part of Seth Rollins' legacy in that sense. And I think, I think one day, well, in fact, I know one day our paths will cross on the main roster and it will be cinema. So,
and also, we do a daily sports show here in this studio, the Rich Eisen show, Nathan. And I'm not sure if you were aware, but 4 days after Seth hurt his knee against LA Knight, we already booked him to guest host this show because Rich was going to be out of the country 5 months previous to his injury. So he came in here with the leg brace, with the crutches. He sold the heck out of it. He had us fold. I was, walking his crutches over to him so he wouldn't have to exert himself. So yeah, I got played like everybody else. I
didn't know whether to like reach out to him or not because I wasn't sure. And then I was like, oh man, of course. Like he definitely did very well. But I wish him, a very speedy recovery in this what seems to be a shoulder injury.
Maybe Nathan, it's a shoulder injury.
Wait, hold on. Now we did have Seth Rollins mentioned, so I just want to have a moment of silence for the Vision being broken up again.
I'm saying, bro, I mean, like, nah, hold up. Like, the moment of silence is cute and all, but like, if he would have picked someone that he knew that he could trust, it wouldn't have happened.
Oh, so, my God.
I'm just saying. I'd take a bullet for that man, and he knows it.
That's a great point, though. You know what I mean? That is excellent point.
It is what it is, man. Yeah. It is what it is.
He's one of the baddest to ever do it. And
by the way, not for nothing, has nothing to do with, well, maybe I was about to say has nothing to do with them, but see, I've got a little creative liberty. I've got a prediction. You say the Vision is done. The Vision is not done. The Vision is going to be adding members.
Stop
Absolutely.
it,
and who knows, maybe these two could, I just know this in the history of pro wrestling, when a faction breaks up, either most of the time, the Shield notwithstanding, they don't totally disband. They kick one person out and they rebuild bigger and better.
The old Judgment Day.
So we could be looking at members of. I don't know.
Relax, bro.
Listen
now, Nathan.
Hey, wait. again. Oh no, he's shaking his head.
Chill. Nathan, chill. Nathan, chill. All
right. That's strike number 2.
All right. So, Nathan, I want to give you a quote. And I want you to tell me what this quote means to you and how you've applied it to your career thus far. But the quote goes, if you don't build your own dreams, someone will hire you to build theirs. Screw that. That is by Tony Gaskins. Shout out to Tony Gaskins.
I've heard that.
I feel like I've heard that. I'm pretty sure I've like posted that at some point.
Yep. I did my research.
Right. Like, I was like, that sounds familiar because I recognize the first part, but then when you said screw that, I was like, wait a second. Like I'm pretty sure I added that on.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I think like I always kind of embraced, I guess, being different. Like when people would kind of, I don't know, judge for me being a hardcore wrestling fan, I would just, instead of kind of letting that affect me, I would completely just embrace it and embrace being different and kind of just embrace the grind and the struggle and the chase of that dream. And, I had a lot of friends who went down like kind of like the traditional path, and I just never, ever saw myself living a normal life ever. So I really I remember hearing that quote for the first time. I really took it to heart, and it really kind of added more gasoline to the fire, which was already like burning hot. So, but yeah, I just knew that I wasn't called to live a life basic. And, by the grace of God, I've been able to do that. So, I've been able to literally like live my dream constantly. And like, we're having so much fun on the main roster as well, like kind of just setting zero expectations and just literally just having fun every single week. Like when we're wrestling, it's amazing. Like when we're not, it's like we get to train in the ring with Motor City, like before the show, and we get to like hang out and all that kind of stuff. But like we know that like there's so much more that we can and will achieve. And like, now that we're here, it's another dream to chase. It's another mountain to climb. And I know that like we're more than good enough to climb to the top of the mountain.
Let's see, TJ, I got that information from his profile on the school that he played soccer for. Mm-hmm. Found that out, got that information. But on that profile, under desired career, he put WWE superstar.
Really?
While he also led the team to number one in the conference that year, by the way. But
yeah, that was a good year that year. I remember my coach being like I think it was like sophomore year, and like I started the season really, really well, but then like towards the mid part of the season, I was just getting like really tired because I would like play college soccer games and then like leave the college soccer game and go right to a show in Tennessee and wrestle like twice a week every single weekend. And like when you're doing that in season, it can be like really my body was just beat. And like I towards like the end of the season, my performances were just dropping big time because I was so beat up. And he pulled me off. He was like, why are you so tired? And I was like, I don't know. And he ended up finding my Twitter and seeing just all of the wrestling clips and being like, what the hell is this? Like, fair play, like chase your dream. You're actually quite good at it, which I think was my saving grace. But I don't think any college soccer coach has ever had that internal issue to deal with before. But now he keeps up to date with everything, and he's very proud of me.
It worked out. Now, Axiom, you've got one of the sickest masks, dude. It's like really good. I need to know what goes into, because we've interviewed Rey Mysterio, one of the most famous masks ever. So what goes into your design, or are there Easter eggs that you put into any of them? What goes into what I think is one of the dopest masks I've ever seen?
Yeah, so originally, right, this is a WWE design at its core. It's that they wanted me to use, and then over the time I'm very good friends with a very talented artist. His name is Sayas, and I asked him, hey man, is there any way we can work together on this? Because like your vision will be my vision. I know that. Like I know whatever you think is best will be best. And he started with some sketches and stuff, and he knows what I'm into. Like I love Power Rangers. I love Spider-Man. Obviously, there's a very obvious Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah,
my match, right? If you follow any of that. But apart from that, I try to implement anything that I enjoy outside of wrestling. One of my main hobbies is TCG games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, we talked about. So almost every piece of gear that I wear has an inspiration from that, whether it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, a Magic card, superhero that I really like.
Therefore, now every single piece of gear I wear is an inspiration of that.
You know what the funny part is? He doesn't have a clue what this means.
I was just about to tell TJ that TCG is trading card game.
Right. Wear this, it will be cool. And he's, does it.
You got any favorites? Ones that you were like, oh yeah, this is the one.
I don't want to, I don't want to build a hype, but the next mask, the next costume gear, however you call it, I think will be my favorite because it's a very special card to me. But I have to say the black gear that we've used probably against like the Hardy Boys and like special that is by far my favorite gear.
So, Axiom, after you joined NXT in 2019, and then about a little over a year later, you became the first ever NXT UK Heritage Cup champion. Just two things here. How long did it take you to figure out the rules for this thing? And then, because I'm still, after all these years, I'm still, the rules have changed, but it took me a solid like 2 years to finally go, okay, I think I understand this. And then when you saw this cup that you had to carry around, which Nathan, you had to as well later on, what were your thoughts?
There's a very funny story about that, actually. When I won the cup, right? They wanted me to hold it with like one hand and like look really cool, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll probably cry if that's okay, because it means a lot to me. And when I did, I held it with one hand and immediately realized that was too hard for me. So I was like, yeah, that's it. That's what you get. But no, I mean, that style of wrestling, I have to say, is my favorite wrestling. I discovered it very late in my career, which is like the European wrestling from the 70s to the late 80s. And if you haven't had the chance to watch any of that, as a wrestling fan, anyone should. It's so updated. Like, it's crazy how if you do that nowadays, people will still lose their mind watching it. And it was through COVID as well, so I had the chance to really watch all of this. Like, and when I mean all of it, I mean all of it. I was very fortunate to have people guiding me what to watch and what people to study, and I absorbed every single match that I could. And to date, that style of wrestling, the rounds wrestling, and like that technical wrestling is one of the most fun times in my career by far. It was very, very special. If you have the chance to watch it back, I would definitely recommend you do it.
That's what's up. Now, in 2022, speaking of superheroes, you were a man formerly known as A-Kid, and then you became Axiom. Could you take us through the process of how that switch happened? Who'd you have to talk to? Did they come to you about it? How'd it work?
It was a mixed thing, right? Like, I was moving to America. That was something that was going to happen 100%. And then this character kind of came to me as a suggestion. And it's very it's very weird, because like when I saw the character, the name was Axiom. I didn't pick the name, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like that, Axiom, of course, Axiom. That's great. And they were like, what do you mean? Like, what? It's just a cool name, right? I'm like, no, Axiom. It means a lot in math. Like, I legit studied math. That's my thing. I was a math teacher. And it was like everything was clicking together, but it's very funny that it wasn't even the intention, right? It was just they wanted this superhero-esque character that, was very calculated and stuff. And I happened to be a mathematician myself. And I love the idea, since I was a kid, I wanted to wear a mask on TV. Since I ever watched Rey Mysterio on TV, I wanted to be that. And it's, again, as we were saying with the tag team, never in my career would I have thought that I would be wearing a mask on SmackDown. But here I am doing that and being a tag team. So it's, it's crazy how some things can happen. But, I think if you put your effort in them and really believe in them, they end up working.
And it took me about 30 minutes for this to sink in. I'm looking at the no contest banner, and I'm looking at his mask. Did he have this specially made to come on?
Oh man, he's matching the set.
I mean, we need to get one of these. Look at that! It just now hit me. That's perfect. It was like it was specially made for us. Just go ahead, Axiom, and shake your head yes, and that'll be fine.
No, it was like a coincidence for sure.
Oh, hey man, there's no contest. Now you guys have been in some wild situations together. Has there ever been, or can you name a couple of times where you see the other one do a spot like, oh man, this dude's nuts, or like, man, I can't believe he pulled that off. That was pretty clean.
Well, he decided to go and Spanish fly someone from the top to the outside through 2 tables. So That was pretty insane.
That was amazing.
But like, I always feel like Axiom is the more calm, calculated, really thinks about what he does before he does it. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of like the opposite. So I'm sure he'll have some other examples, but yeah, I think, I don't know. I think the cool thing is also Axiom obviously being so like, he's like a technical wizard, right? But he can flip a switch and then just do a bunch of like crazy stuff as well. So, I mean, like I can flip a switch and do some like technical stuff too, but I just, you know, I tend to just be the one that just, I don't know, just doesn't think and just goes bang.
Go for it.
And he has to be the one to be like, all right, okay, like let's settle down. But yeah, no, it's a fun process, like putting stuff together as well. I think like, when we put stuff together, again, we just never agree. But like we always, but the thing is, like, it's always that initial disagreement, and then like things like start to just blend together, and it's so much better than like each original idea, and we're like, oh, that was great. See, we got there, and we always get there.
So good. Like if you were to agree with my idea, if I was to agree with yours, then that's it. That's just an idea. But like we actually force each other to really build that idea, like almost like bulletproof. You know, like, all right, that's the perfect idea. Of course, I have to do it. You know, I made this idea, but I mean, it's perfect. I have to do it. I think it goes both ways. So it makes everything so much better, I think.
Yeah, I always kind of like push him to like push the envelope of being just, hey, just be like a little bit more crazy, and then he always has to be like the one to be like, hey, let's just be a little bit less crazy, and then it's just like perfect. Yeah, it's just perfect when we get to our final destination. So
yeah, you can't split that up. You can't split that up. It works too well together. Now, something that we like to ask on this show, being that you both are fans of the business, and we always love when we get fans of the business. Can you guys remember a time where, when you were just a fan, where wrestling broke your heart? The example that I use all the time is when I was a kid watching Hulk Hogan run over the Rock's ambulance while he's in the back of the ambulance. I was crushed. Like, my whole day was ruined after that. Or, you know, a lot of people bring up Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker's streak. Is there any moment that you can recall where it gave you sour grapes as a kid?
I definitely have one. It was when Daniel Bryan lost against Sheamus.
In 18 seconds?
Yeah, well, you don't have to say it.
I get it.
You know,
I get it, though.
I'm a big fan of his work through his entire career. I follow that man, you know, from a very little independent company to WrestleMania. And he lost to Sheamus in, 18 seconds?
Yeah.
That broke my heart. But then WrestleMania 30 made it all.
Yeah. That's a solid rebuttal. It's WrestleMania 30. What about you, Nathan?
Yeah, so I feel like there are a couple that come to mind. I think one, because I think like my top 3 favorite like in-ring superstars that I like model myself after, like, and take the most inspiration from and that hold a special place in my heart, is Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles, and Seth Rollins. So like when Daniel Bryan, when he went down with his neck injury just after winning at Mania 30, I was like, no, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah. What? I was gutted. But I think also like I think I always resonated with Rollins in terms of like what he did in the ring. I even go back to like some of my very first matches, and I was emulating like a bunch of things that he did. I always thought like, oh, like that's like the coolest one out of the 3, like out of the Shield, like he's by far the coolest. Like look at him go, kind of thing. And when he kind of went off on his own and joined the Authority, and when he got hurt, kind of at like the top of that run, as a fan, as like him being like my favorite wrestler at the time, I was pretty gutted about that as well. Little did I know at the time that you know, my career would be so like deeply intertwined, obviously, with like kind of a little bit synonymous with him. And I would actually be like his, like, I guess like he would be my mentor, like my wrestling dad. Like if I would have told that kid at the time that like Seth Rollins, like that guy, like is your favorite wrestler, like he's going to be your wrestling dad, I would have freaked out. But yeah, I was pretty gutted about that at the time.
And speaking of Bryan Danielson and PWG, he's a guy who had some classic matches there too, and former champion. So Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, if you're not, if you're not familiar, get familiar, as they like to say.
Absolutely, man. Okay, now let's see. What are we got our highlights of questions that we got to go through, but I'm trying to fill it out a little bit.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. You guys got to take on one of the legendary tag teams. Some right now are calling them the greatest of all time, Matt and Jeff Hardy. Tell us about what it was like to share the ring with those two and what you took from it.
Careful with what you say, Nathan.
He wants me to just get out what I'm going to say.
you know what I mean, right? So just don't say it.
I mean, like, I think I could say it. So when the TNA like crossovers started happening, immediately I was like, oh, well, we have to wrestle the Hardy Boys then. Like, that is the match. Fraxiom versus the Hardy Boys. If you're going to do TNA and NXT collabs, like there ain't much bigger than Hardy Boys versus Fraxiom. And we were really, really confident that it would be amazing. And I remember like us discussing it, and Axiom kind of be like, like it's a long shot, and I'm like, I think we should ask Sean. He's like, like I don't know. I'm like, come on, like we're going to his office now. So we asked Sean, and he was like, I love that idea. If it's possible to make it work, then like at the right time, we will absolutely do it. And we came out of that meeting, and this is the nicest thing he's ever said to me or will ever say to me. He was like, just letting you know, no matter what we accomplish during our career, I'll never be more proud of you than this moment.
It was surreal because, like, even to the point where we actually wrestled them, we didn't know it was going to happen, right? Like, I remember doing this TNA run.
They made us all the time.
Yeah, we get to meet them, and, like, obviously they're great, and it's like, oh my God, I really wish this happened. But we didn't know, like legit, we didn't know until like a few weeks before the actual show.
Maybe a couple of weeks, because we would go to like the writers and be like, come on. Like, you clearly know something is happening. Like, are you going to tell us? And they're like, I just don't know. And I'm like, you know. They're like, I don't know. And they definitely knew the whole time. And they told us after the fact. But that was such a dream come true. And whenever I watch that match back, I'm just like so proud because, we really held our own against two of the literally, like, in my opinion, the greatest tag team of all time. And I was really, really proud of the work that all of us put in that day. It was just for it to be in the theater in Madison Square Garden as well on, one of the biggest NXT specials of all time, and to kind of leave a legacy on that show and then NXT as a whole, like it was very surreal. Honestly, even just talking about it, I'm like, wow, we really did that. But we told them, hey, like, we'll see you down the road, I'm sure, and we'll get a rematch. So I'm throwing that one out there as well.
Okay.
For me, though, I have to remind myself sometimes to enjoy those moments, because I know for a fact that the day off, I didn't really, took a breath and thought, hey, I am wrestling the Hardy Boys today, and I think as performers, we sometimes have to do that. And I think that day for me, it reminded me of doing that a bit more often, like sometimes enjoy what you're doing, because you're so concerned. And I don't know if it was the same for you, Nathan, but like I was so concerned of the match being good and like, the whole day going perfect that I didn't really allow myself any moment to enjoy what I was doing, which is crazy. It's wrestling the Hardy Boys, like there's a picture out there of myself as a 10-year-old kid wearing a Jeff Hardy, wig and costume. And a few years later, I am wrestling that in New York. So if anything, that match for me made me appreciate those moments way more. And, every time, like, for example, when we did SummerSlam recently, I thought about that. I thought about, hey, don't worry about it. Just, take a breath, enjoy this moment. You're in a stadium full of 70,000 people screaming. It's that's what that match made for me. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. It was
awesome.
I was before that match with the Hardy Boys. I was like, obviously there's the stresses. You want everything to go well. I think I was just eerily calm because I knew that as long as we just go out there and just beat us, it's going to be great and it's going to go down in history. And I think it did all of those things. And to then I don't know, watch it back and just to share the locker room with them after and converse about everything and just have a joke and a laugh. Dude, it's crazy. I love those guys. Obviously as a fan, but as people as well, they're so good.
That's sick, dude. I can only imagine to be able to, share that moment. And then, with you guys not even really thinking about the tag team road, and then you're doing a match with the Hardys.
Yeah. It was at that point where I was like, oh my gosh, I could have never even wrote this script before, but it's just perfect. So it's amazing. I couldn't imagine not being in a tag team now, doing the things that we did and all that we accomplished. So it's it all just worked out so much better than I could have even wrote it up myself. So I think when that match happened, I was like, I don't know. It was just, it's still definitely mind blowing for sure.
Now, we are winding down a little bit, so it's time to get our number one question out just to make sure we got it, TJ. Mm-hmm. Now, I forget, when we had Street Profits, did we do a tag team version of this question? Did we?
I can't remember.
Whatever, man. We'll do it live. Anyway, so, guys, you're in a bar. You're a tag team, so we're going to double the number. There's 100 dudes in this bar. They do not like Fraxiom at all. They don't like math as a whole. Mm-hmm. All right? So they're not.
I don't like math as a whole.
Wow.
You guys are oil and water, man.
It makes it work.
So you're in a bar. It's 100 dudes in that bar. I need you guys to pick a team of you and 4 other tag teams to make sure that Fraxiom is getting to the car. So I guess it's 2 tag teams apiece.
All right, I think you
this could be all time.
Yeah, all time.
All right, okay. Brothers of Destruction for sure, because we need to just even the odd. We're big in grit, but we're small in stature. So I think Brothers of Destruction, and then the Hardy Boys, because they're our boys. So it's good. If we go down, we all go down swinging. And then I think DX, because they're our bosses. So
yeah, actually, you got
acting like this is a bar fight, guys.
Yeah, this is concerning.
Those are great answers.
Look at him, he's thinking, man.
Right, let me think. Do you not want your friends? Do you not want Motor City there, for example? People who are really going to back you there.
Oh no! To be fair, I think Motor City is a very good shout. Very good shout.
Well, Brothers of Destruction, you don't really know if they like you. It would be great if they're in our team, But
it's strategical, bro. There's 100 of those guys.
Axiom right now is running the numbers in his head. There's 100.
Special shout out to Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Okay.
Real.
All right.
So let's do that. Let's do DX, because obviously Brothers of Destruction is a big question in my opinion.
Okay.
But I will.
You're crazy for that.
The fire and the lights go out and we just win. It would be great. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Maybe we'll let you guys get out of here after this. Make it a little bit easier. We have a time machine here at No Contest Wrestling. We're going to loan it out to Fraxiom. What we're going to do is we're going to give you guys a chance to go back in time and have a WrestleMania main event match against any 4 tag teams of all time. So each of you pick 2 tag teams from any era, from any promotion that you would love to have a WrestleMania main event with.
Oof. Oh man, if I were to go back in time, immediately my I mean, we've already wrestled them, but if I were to go back in time and wrestle them, like main event TLC, I mean, it would have to be Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian and just like pluck us in there as well.
Okay,
absolutely.
How about you, Axiom?
I would go the other route, I think, and I would go 2 out of 3 falls versus the Heart Foundation.
Oh. you see how completely like on the opposite end of the spectrum are.
What do you want to jump on, dude? They heard.
But that's what makes you guys click, and you get one more.
You got one more, Axiom.
Oh, one more.
One more tag team from any era, any promotion.
Well, I think it has to be the Edge, right? Like there was a time and period where they were untouchable. Like if we were lucky enough to share the ring with them at that time.
Now, are you talking the New Age Outlaws? You talking Shawn and Hunter? Which part of DX?
Yeah, Shawn and Triple H for sure.
Bet.
Absolutely, bro. Those are some good matches.
Man, this has been fun.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
this has been sick, dude.
I wish we had more time with you guys, man. But this was really dope to kind of get to know you guys on a level that we didn't know you before.
Can I just ask my tag partner, like, did I do okay? Did I do all right? Like, was it as bad as you thought it would be?
But, you know, we'll talk over the weekend. It's fine.
I think I'm good. I'll let you know next time I see you for sure.
Yeah, you know. But dude, that was so much fun, you guys.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys.
Oh, Axiom, one more.
Yes.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Machamp.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, he's got some stories with that one. Then
I was just in the generation right before this Pokemon video game rage, I guess. But
hey, man,
that's why you're here.
Exactly. That's how our tag team works.
I take care of all the old people stuff, and then you get the video games and things like that.
You said it. All right, y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes,
I'm sure Axiom had a lot of fun too.
All right,
we'll catch you guys on the other side.
Continued success, fellas. Most importantly, stay healthy because of the rash injuries going around, and we hope you guys avoid that bug, man, and much continued success to you.
I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you.
Axiom, if there's any way I could get a no contest Axiom match, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we need one, man. We need one. Put it right here.
All right, fellas. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys. God bless you both.
Peace.
Fans of the No Contest Wrestling Podcast, we in for a treat. Mm-hmm. We have finally decided to step out a little bit and to talk to people who are true to their wrestling fandom that aren't necessarily in the squared circle. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't had a few run-ins here and there. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for San Francisco 49er tight end George Kittle.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
What's up, baby?
Thanks, boys. Hey, happy to be here. Goodness gracious.
Happy to have you, man.
Technically, I haven't been in, squared ring, but I have clotheslined someone outside of it, so I've kind of been in it.
You've hopped the barrier.
Shout out to the Miz.
Yeah, you've hopped the barrier.
A little bit. I almost got into a scuffle with CM Punk at Sunday Night Football. He was over there, because I'm a Seth Rollins guy, and they obviously have a pretty good feud. So, he said, "Hey, I'll catch you in the ring because I've already beaten everybody." I was like, "Ooh, dang."
Yeah, I heard him cut that promo. And let's look at that before we get into everything else. A lot of WWE superstars are apparently fans of the 49ers. I'm a Cowboys fan, George Kittle, so how I feel about that.
That's sorry.
But yeah, yesterday all over the internet, Bayley, WWE, San Francisco, just posting videos and pictures of Bayley was there, CM Punk was there, LA Knight was there, the Usos were there, Naomi was there, Roxanne was there. Like a lot of Niners fans. They represented for you guys last night, George.
They did. I was so surprised. I didn't know the Usos were 49ers fans until I saw them at WrestleMania in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I had no idea. And then they just came up there and I saw them backstage and they were so hyped to see me. And I was like, this is so cool. What's up, guys? Huge fan. I've been watching you guys for a while.
The Tribal Chief is also.
Yeah, the Tribal Chief.
I know. Fan. Yeah. Roman's actually one of the few guys I haven't met yet, unfortunately. Would love to meet him. Haven't had an opportunity to yet.
That'll happen soon.
Yeah, once the word got out that George Kittle was to meet Roman, it's kind of done now.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
We'll get there. Because I would say this. He's my mom's favorite. And My family still gives me crap every once in a while for like Monday Night Football's on them, and I'm turning it on to Monday Night Raw. Like they'll all give me crap for that. But if Roman Reigns is on, my mom's like, no, we'll watch this one. We'll watch this one. I'm like, hey, Mom, relax, man. Relax.
So your mom acknowledges the tribal chief.
Yes, this household does acknowledge the tribal chief.
Absolutely, man.
Well, real quick, George, first and foremost, how are you feeling? You know, you were out a few games, you had the injury. Physically, how are you doing before we kick everything off?
Well, let's see. I had a grade 3 strain of proximal part of my hamstring. So part of my hamstring tore. So that was not very fun. But you know what? They told me anywhere from like, They told me like 4 to 8 weeks. We got back in 5. So I'm pretty pumped with that. Felt really good last night playing on Sunday Night Football. No issues with that. Didn't think I was going to play 55 snaps, but hey, I did it. Went out there completely out of shape, but I figured out a way to go. And I had a great time doing it. Body made it out healthy. You know, when you don't have a catch and you don't get tackled, you wake up less sore because no one's diving at your kneecaps and stuff. So it was mostly just a gritty physical game in the run game when I had a lot of fun. So it was just, I love playing football. I love hitting people. So that was a great first game for me to get back into.
Now, our dude Rich Eisen wants me to ask you about your quarterback.
Please, which one? I got 2 right now.
I need no. He wants to know about Purdy, man. How's everything looking with him? How's he doing?
How I understand it is just like with the turf toe stuff, right? It's basically like if you trigger it at all before it's like healed, I think it's like a square, like you just back up in the recovery process. So my thing, what I just tell Brock, like just get to where you feel fantastic and then play football again. Like we know what Brock can do. We're excited to see Brock Purdy play football. I just don't want him to come back too soon. And the same thing happens like when he played against Jacksonville, and then he's out for a couple more weeks because Brock's a phenomenal football player that is the best orchestrator of this offense that I've ever seen. What Kyle Shanahan has done, he's just so efficient at it. And so I just want him to be at 100% before he tries to take the field again. And I think he's aware of that. And I think he's going to do good. I think he's going to do a good job with his recovery, and he'll come back when he feels like he's ready.
Bro, what is turf toe? Like you hear that, but like, what is like the athlete? Like, describe that pain to us.
Okay, the pain. I mean, like you can't like flex your foot. So this is your feet. Like you can't bend it. For those listening, this is really good for you. I'm showing people with my hand. But like you can't like bend your big toe and like try walking without using your big toe at all. So like you can kind of go straight, but you can't change directions at all. And especially like as a quarterback, like your plant foot, it's always twisting into the ground and pushing off. Like you just can't really do a lot. And I'm going to probably completely butcher this, but like how I understand it is like you can have the turf toe injury that Joe Burrow had, which is like super serious, and you have a 3-month recovery, you're out, you get surgery. And then Brock is like a different part of it that isn't as serious, but like it can become serious. So it's just like the turf toe sounds so soft, and it is one of the most debilitating injuries that you can possibly have as an athlete.
Yeah, and to prove that it's not soft, legendary Hall of Fame linebacker Jack Lambert of the Pittsburgh Steelers, his career was ended by turf toe. Deion Sanders, turf toe. So
I mean, Patrick Willis had bad toes too, and he stopped after 8 years because he couldn't hardly walk anymore. And so it's just like once your feet are start like breaking down and stuff like that, it's just, you can't move anymore. So I'd rather I just want Brock to be healthy, because when he's out there and confident in his body, then he's not thinking about anything else except for just slicing and dicing.
Tell us about how Mac Jones is out there, man. He's holding the fort down for you guys right now. How good is he?
Beat us.
My favorite thing about Mac Jones is that he has the personality of a tight end.
Really?
He's goofy. He likes to have a good time. He's friends with every single position. He can talk to anybody. And then like you see him in walkthroughs, he's kind of goofy. And then the second he gets to practice or a game rep, everything is just so locked in and dialed. And like and like one of the reasons I love him, Coach Shanahan, brought up in our team meeting this past week. He was like, hey, like on the defensive side of the ball, I want swarming. I want every time the plays ends, I want 11 people on the camera, because that means like the defense is attacking the ball carrier, right? That's what you want. And Mac Jones, as a joke, did it on Wednesday's practice. Like he would like hand the ball off, and then he would chase the ball carrier down the field. And so he would end up in the screen. And Kyle Shanahan was like, hey, Mac, you don't need to do that anymore. So then he made a point of doing it on Thursday in practice, on Friday in practice. He was just chasing down, like he'd throw a 20-yard pass and he would sprint to where the wide receiver was who caught it. So he would end up on the end of the film, just for a good laugh. Kind of funny. Yeah, it's hilarious. Like just the fact that he does that, like he brings good joy, brings good vibes to the huddle. And then like I said, when we're out there, like this is my first time playing with Mac Jones, and like he still has fun, but he's just so dialed and he's so calm. Like he just calls a play, goes, yeah, go do that. I'm like, all right, sick, sounds good. I'll see you after the play in the huddle again. He's just so calm and cool. So it's been very nice to be in a huddle with that.
You see, man, I ran into a situation earlier this year where I had to make a decision. I really wanted Christian in my fantasy football, right? I remember I was scared, man. He was nervous. And I let Marshawn Lynch scare me out of it, and I ended up not picking him up, and he just looks dynamite. And
yep.
Yep. See, I'm a USC guy. I went to USC, so I have a...
You in Stanford, though?
Oh, my God. Yeah, man, Stanford, dude.
Tough.
Yeah, it was terrible. You know, my collegiate career, the 4 years I was there, we were sanctioned, so I couldn't even go to bowl games when I was in college. But so I have this thing with Christian McCaffrey, and he's done it to me again. Talk a little bit about him and how he's bounced back.
Well, you did it to yourself. Let's just be honest.
Chill out, bro. Okay.
You did it to yourself. I said this whole offseason, everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to pick you up in fantasy. And I'm just like, draft Christian McCaffrey first overall. Because last year, he dealt with some injuries, some things that, just didn't allow him to be him. And then when he finally got his groove back, he got a weird knee injury, but 100% healthy. And when Christian's 100% healthy, he goes for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns on Sunday Night Football and looks unstoppable, which he is. And so Christian is, in my opinion, the best running back in NFL. There's no one that can do what he does. I mean, yesterday it was 3rd and 13, and he lines up in the slot and runs a wide post for a first down, to keep us on the field. And we score the next player running gap scheme, 16 power, God's play, the way football is intended to be ran. And one of my favorite plays.
Wait,
and,
George, can you give us that play one more time?
Yeah. So 16 power is a gap scheme. You have 16, 17 power, and it's basically like everybody down blocks, and you have a pulling guard that inserts. And so everybody's responsible for a gap. And it's like the most downhill physical run that you can possibly do. And I'm a huge fan of that play. And we call it God's play because it's like the most basic, fundamental football mindset play that you can possibly have. And then we also have another play called 16 counter, which is a little bit different, just kind of changes up who pulls. But that would be, it's kind of like God's second favorite play. But gap scheme is a way to run the football. And it's just downhill, and it's who's going to be more physical. And we were last night, so that's a good thing for us.
No doubt. Would you rather have a pancake block or score a tutty? Like, what makes you feel, what gets the heart racing a little bit more?
I mean, the first 6 years of my career, it was a pancake at any day of the week. I'll take that because there's something, it's so satisfying. There's an old quote that my dad told me when I was in high school, and it was, moving a man from point A to point B against his will is the greatest feeling a man will ever feel. And whoa. I still take that. It's good because when someone doesn't want you to move them and that you move them and you flat back them and you can feel them exhale. And I used to say it's their soul leaving their body. Yeah. That's hard to beat. It really is. I will say there is something really nice about routing up somebody and scoring a touchdown and mossing a bunch of people. So at this point in my career, I really like touchdowns because statistics are good for your career. But it's hard to really beat I really want to say the F word, but I'm not going to say the F word. Messing somebody up on the run game. It's really fun to do that.
You can say it and we'll just have it beat for effect if you want.
Yeah, watch this.
See?
Whoops. Sorry. Sneezed.
We'll probably hit beat. Cut those out. Yeah. But speaking of just injuries, man, it seems like everyone on the 53-man roster of the San Francisco 49ers have been bitten by that bug at one point or another this year. And yet you guys are still sitting on top at 5-2. How have you been able to do it? How's this team held it together when most teams wouldn't be able to, losing the talent. And we're not just talking about, O'Shea, about, second, tier type guys. No. We're talking stars that these guys have lost. Fred Warner's and the Joey Bosa's in particular, with the Pearsons and the Brandon Ayuk's on the offensive side of the ball. How have you guys done it, George Kittle?
A couple of reasons. One, I think that Coach Shanahan's a hell of a head football coach. And when you lose, I missed 5 games. Nick Bosa is on IR. Fred Warner's on IR. Brock Purdy hasn't really played this year. Our starting receiver has been out since last year with an ACL, who's hopefully back soon. We just had guys, not being able to play. And the fact that Coach Shanahan is able to come up with really great game plans week in and week out and find ways to inspire the boys to go out there and fly around and hit people in the face. He's really, really good at what he does. And, it's also kudos to John Lynch and him for putting their heads together, bringing together a good roster. And then my 2 other things with that is I think Robert Saleh is a genius. I love Robert Saleh. That was the best free agent signing that we had this year. Bringing him back in the building, the juice and the fire that he brings, and also just his schematic ability in his brain to see things and call things. And he also lights a fire under all of his players' asses. That's fantastic stuff. And then really, I think the last thing I would say is, I've been here for a while. I'm going into year 9 with this is my 9th year with the San Francisco 49ers. Fred Warner's he's in year 8. Nick Bosa is year 7. And we have this foundation of guys. Kyle Juszczyk is year 9. And with this foundation of guys who have kind of set the standard of what we expect to play at. And we've taught the young guys that. And so even when those players aren't playing, the young guys and the guys who are on the team that were part of it, they're like, hey, this is the standard that we have to play at. And if we don't play at this level, we're going to stand out like a sore thumb on film, and we're not going to be here very long. So, it's just kind of a kudos to our vets and our coaching staff for having that standard, and then and all the whole team buying into what that standard is. And I think that's why we get it. And I also think we're a very gritty team, and we like to hit people. And a lot of the time in football, if you like to hit people more than the other team likes to get hit, then you can win football games.
Absolutely, bro. The Niners are, speaking as a Los Angeles Ram, the Niners,
because he plays on the team.
They've always
just real quick. One band, one sound. I'm sitting here with a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Los Angeles Rams fan.
Mm-hmm. We were here to talk about wrestling. Yeah. TJ brought up football.
See you guys. I'm out. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, man. But it's all right. I will say,
look, you got over on us a lot in your career, so I didn't think it'd be a problem.
Yeah, just chill out, man. Damn. But.
Yeah, you'll need the Niners, 3 touchdown games against the Cowboys out of you, George Kittle.
The Niners have always, even when whether it be the media or just whispers of just they've always been ready for the Niners to kind of fade out, and you guys continue to stay there, fighting through these injuries and things like that. It only. Speaking as fans of other football teams, it's got to make everybody else nervous, man.
Yeah,
especially when they started getting healthy. You thought you had them when they were down,
Yeah, you had your shot. At the beginning of the season on the Rich Eisen show, we made predictions, and Rich, Chris, and I, we just took a guess how many teams we thought could really win the Super Bowl, and I only had 7 that I thought legitimately. And the San Francisco 49ers, it pains my heart and soul, George Kittle, you know this, but the San Francisco 49ers were one of those 7. And we put the clip on YouTube, and I got so ridiculously, a lot of people, I guess all the Niners haters came out, George, and they were all on me oh, the Niners really blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, this hurts me to say this, but yes, this team can win the Super Bowl. And when everybody comes back healthy, good luck, man. Good luck stopping you guys, bro.
I'll just say, I know, if you can't replace a Nick Bosa, to me, impossible. Nick is best defensive ends in the NFL. He's most athletic. He's fantastic in the run game, and you have to triple team him to stop him in the pass game. And then you can't replace Fred Warner. He's a fantastic football player. He's a great captain for us. He's a leader for us. So you can't replace him, but you can get guys in there who attack, fly around, hit people, and bring the juice. And if you have the defensive schematic, the defensive scheme behind it, you can still win football games. And then I look at our offense. Yeah, we've been banged up, but if we get Brandon Ayuk coming back and Brock Purdy coming back, we still have a very, very efficient, talented offense. 2 years ago, we were one of the most efficient offenses in NFL history. I think we were I wouldn't say top 5 or top 10. Just how many points we scored, our yards per game, rushing yards per game. We were just so efficient. So I still believe that we can get back to that level of efficiency. And we're doing that now. And like, I think too, like Ricky Pearsall hasn't played the last couple weeks and Mike will be coming back. So like once these guys will get back into a rhythm, they come back. I fully expect our offense to be scoring a lot of football points. And then I just expect our defense with Robert Saleh leading the way, to be very annoying to teams and put our offense in positions to succeed.
Well, I'm getting word right now. And I think Rich said we could talk wrestling now.
What?
Yeah. He didn't really get word.
I'm telling you, Rich Eisen is telling me that I could talk wrestling now, so I'm ready to talk some wrestling. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rich just told me he's taking all three of us to Saudi Arabia next year.
Right, Rich, bro.
That's what I just got.
Listen, we're in the Mouse's house.
By the way, can the three of us make a pact? I mean, I know you got a crew of boys, George. I saw the documentaries and stuff, but can we make a pact between the three of us? Like
between a Ram, a Cowboy, and a Niner?
Yeah, but that's football. This is wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
Can we make a pact? If one of us goes. So then all of us go. Like I'm here to put my hand out and say if I can get hooked up, I'm taking you guys with me. All right,
I'm in.
Bundy.
I'm in,
man. Absolutely.
I'm in. I don't know how I'm going to make that work, but I'll try.
It's a crazy flight. I can only imagine, dude.
Well, let's get into it then, man. The question that you like to ask first, I think is proper for George.
Yes. I need to know, George.
We need
Kittle,
to know because
the world needs to know.
Everybody.
When did you get bit by the wrestling bug?
Crazy. My junior year of college.
Whoa! You were late to the game. Okay.
So like I grew up and I loved Stone Cold and The Rock, but like I wasn't like watching any of the pay-per-views. Like I didn't watch any of the WrestleManias. I would just I'd occasionally like get lucky and I'd turn on a show. I'd be like, oh, look, there's Stone Cold. Like I knew exactly who Stone Cold was.
You're wearing this shirt right now, right?
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. Him with the that one's so good. The back of the shirt's him in handcuffs flipping off the camera too. It's fantastic. But no, I had one of my really good friends who's a teammate of mine. His name's Steve Manders. He's actually like on the indie wrestling circuit right now, the one called Manders. He's fantastic. But he got me hooked into it. He would come over to my house. We'd have summer workouts, and my house was like 100 yards from the stadium in college at University of Iowa. And so like he would work out at 6 a.m. and I would work out at 8 a.m. And so by the time I got home, he would just be sitting on my couch watching WWE Network. And so then I would just sit down with him and I was like, dude, Manders, what are you doing? He goes, dude, just watch with me, man. Just watch some of these things. And he goes, you should really like this guy, Seth Rollins, because he's from Davenport, Iowa, and you're an Iowa guy. I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. And that was like, I think I started watching it that was like right at the end of the Shield. So it was like the last 3 to 4 months of the Shield. And I was like, oh, this is sick, dude. Like, I love this. I love Seth. And then, so like every day I'd come back and he would just take me through, we'd like watch seasons, like everything leading up to WrestleMania 1 and then everything leading up to WrestleMania 2. And so like he caught me up over the course of that summer. I probably watched like 6 hours of wrestling a day minimum. And it was just so much fun. And I just kind of fell in love with it. I mean, like, I didn't appreciate it when I was growing up as a kid, but like going back now and you see some of those matches, I'm like, dude, these guys are insane.
Going crazy.
And they also have some of the best celebrations ever. Like me and with some of our DBs, we all do we do the Shawn Michaels lean and flex. Yeah. Oh, dude, like that. I'll pull that one out in the field. Hopefully next week in Houston. I'll be excited about that one. But like, it's just so fun. And like, and football and wrestling, there's so much in common to it. Like there really is. Like just having to perform at an incredibly high level all the time in front of a bunch of people. And like I just continually gain this appreciation for it. And especially when I went to like my first wrestling event, I was blown away because I was just watching it. And I think the first one I ever went to, like Charlotte Flair was wrestling Sasha Banks, and it was like one of their bangers.
Yeah.
And like and Charlotte like jumped, she did a moonsault off the top rope onto the ground, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you can't fake that stuff. And so like, I didn't realize how physical it is, how mental it is, like what you have to do week in and week out. And some of these people are wrestling 3-4 times a week, year round. And it's just crazy to me. So I just became appreciative of it. And then the more matches I watched, the more I got into it. Like Jericho and The List, like that was one of my favorite gimmicks.
You just made the list.
You just made the list. I thought that was the funniest thing of all time.
You know what?
And that's why I just bought into it. Dude, he clicks the pen.
Just the way that started organically too. Like he did it and the crowd popped, and then it became such a thing. You know,
it just continues, and the storylines change every single year, and like not every storyline's great, but like I just forget it's like what's your favorite TV show?
Yeah,
there's really good seasons, and there's some seasons you might not like so much, but like there's always good storylines if you pay enough attention to it, and so I just appreciate those.
Did you ever go up to the airliner when you were in Iowa and have them turn on Raw on all the TVs? I'm sure you had to.
Oh, dude, the airliner! What a reference, dude! Those pizzas are so good.
That's where that's where I bring in my Nardwuar component. I like to pull something out that you're like, how would you know about that?
The airliner, man, that's a fantastic one. My dad went to the University of Iowa, and the airliner was there, and so my dad used to drink at the airliner too. So I definitely had several dozen drinks in the airliner.
Yeah, I only really know the airliner, George, because that's where Ashton was discovered when he was going to Iowa. A modeling scout came into the airliner, the bar, and saw him and asked if he wanted to be a model. And, you know, one thing led to another to where he is now. But so whenever, you know, I take a trip back to Iowa, we go on campus and we go hang out at the airliner. And so, yeah. Hey. I figured
it stayed consistent. Still good pizza, still cheap beer. That's one thing I love about the Midwest. You can just go into a bar and get a beer for like $1 to $2. You know how nice that is? I can't do that out here in California.
Oh, no way, California.
No, dude, I was blown away. I was in New York a couple years ago, and we went to this like little club bar speakeasy thing. And I was like, hey, can I get a light beer? And they're like, yeah, we don't serve light beers. I'm like, do you serve beer? And they're like, yeah, here's a beer. And I bought 3 beers, and my bill was $44. And I said, what?
American?
For 3 12-ounce beers, it's $44. Gave the dude a 50, didn't get any change back. I was like, all right, yeah, I guess that's my tip too. Thanks.
Wow.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, they're robbing George Kittle, right?
No, it's crazy.
Hey, George, you know,
I won't do that again.
Something just real quick, I'll pop off of this that popped in my head. When Kutcher and I did go there the one time, we're sitting in the booth having a drink, and all of a sudden, like the light got blocked out, and this 6'6", 320-pound dude is standing in front of us, and I was like, please be friend, not foe.
Yeah.
Please be friend, not foe.
Here we go.
And it turned out to be Riley Reif, who was a former offensive lineman for Iowa. He played for the Vikings. He played for the Bears, the Lions, I think. Yeah, and he came over just to say hi to Kutcher. But I can't front. Like, there was a moment when he came standing there and looking down. I went, oh, no.
It was a sudden eclipse.
Man.
Dude, there's those corn-fed boys out of Iowa, man. Those are some big offensive linemen, dog.
Like Big E went to Iowa. You know, he
was
defensive. Yeah, he went there.
Dude, Big E's, I think he still has the bench press record at the University of Iowa. So they have all the records outside the weight room. And so when I was in college, I would see it and it had his name right there, bench press. And it was at a weight that I don't know if I could even back squat the weight.
I think he probably still does have the record because
for sure, he's a monster.
He had that 575-pound at Cena's gym. You know, that video that went out years ago when everyone was still young and unknown. Roman's spotting him on. Yeah. So
Trump Chief. Oh, dude, we had Mark Henry. He was like our third guest ever?
Third or fourth.
Yeah, third or fourth guest ever. And, you know, world's strongest man, Mark Henry. So we had to ask him some of his PRs. He told us that he squatted 1,006.
Yeah, like how?
How do you do that?
What?
Yeah,
I don't even want that problem.
Like you squatted 1,006?
Yeah.
And like the 6 is why I know it's the real number.
Yeah, George. How do you put that on a bar? What bar can support that?
Dude, he's a freak.
He was giving us his numbers, and I had them written down like this was last year. But like
bench
the numbers,
press 600.
He was saying like literally 3 people shouldn't be able to lift as much weight as Mark Henry was pushing around. But
no, that's good for Mark. He could kill me if he wanted to.
He told us a story about how they were trying to get a locker open with a crowbar, and then he walked by and Rod Simmons goes, "There's your crowbar right there." He put his fingers in the locker and ripped it off the hinges. Like, dude, and he's the nicest guy in the world.
Seemingly, yeah, right.
Speaking of, dude, how about his fake retirement? That was one of the funniest.
Oh, the salmon jacket.
Yeah.
Salmon jacket, baby.
I mean, he got everybody with that, and
just he murdered John Cena.
Yeah, for those who don't remember, at one point Mark Henry gave out the impression he was going to retire. Like you said, he had this clean salmon colored jacket on. John Cena came out. He's giving the whole thing. You feel it. You feel like the tears coming, and then the next thing you know, he scoops Cena up
that easy?
And hits him with the world's strongest slam. And yeah, it was something else.
That's awesome. Nah, dude, he had the whole wrestling universe in the palm of his hand right there for a second. It was awesome.
Now, the way that you watched wrestling, though, you kind of did a speed run, kind of like when the last season of Game of Thrones was like 2 weeks away, I decided to finally watch Game of Thrones. So I ran through it in 2 weeks. So all the information was fresh in my mind.
It was smart.
Can you think of either a few storylines or what was a moment where wrestling kind of broke your heart, where you're like, oh, that shouldn't have happened that way?
Ooh. The Shield breaking apart hurt my soul.
Mm-hmm.
I think that hurt everybody's soul because it was so good. That was awesome. Just destroyed my. Let's see. I really think. I mean, it's another one like when Kevin Owens betrayed Jericho. Yeah. That one hurt me because I was like, "Oh, they're such good friends."
The list of great. KO. That was such a good shot.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Wait a minute. Why am I on this list?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. That was that broke my heart. Trying to think. Goodness gracious. I don't know. Those are probably my top two that I just like, I remember off the top of my head. I was like, God, I was really enjoying that storyline. Why is it over?
Yeah.
George, once
I'm a little behind too, but I just saw randomly, why did Seth get speared by his team?
Oh man. Well, I think
I'm a little behind, but I saw that highlight. I was like, what's going on?
I think the big picture, Seth, is, and here goes O'Shea, who's man. He's such a Seth hater.
Whoa.
He's such a Seth.
Yes.
He's a Seth Rollins character hater. Kobe Lopez is cool with him, But But basically, I think what happens is at what was it, Crown Jewel? He's wrestling Cody Rhodes. Did you see that match when he did the coast to coast dive? I think to hit Cody like the headbutt. I think he landed awkwardly on his arm, and so. Something happened to his shoulder that he has to get surgery. So I think they had to quickly, as you know about, they had to call an audible and, had to say like, I got two jobs and they both revolve. I get to talk football and wrestling as a job. Yeah, like, are you kidding me? I don't know what this about myself. I just did. I'm sorry, but wow. But yeah, so he's going to have. I believe he may have already gotten surgery, if not getting it. So I feel like they just had to. Yell Omaha and pivot and kind of put him out of his misery, so to speak. But it's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. Yeah,
it will be. I mean, how about Seth faking that knee injury to come out and then?
Oh man, I'm sure that was a moment when wrestling broke my heart because I knew it. I was like when the music hit, I kept tweeting. I was like, Punk. Just get out of the ring. Get out the ring, bro. Run through the crowd. Like, do something, dude. You know what's going to happen. And you just got to sit there and watch. It's like watching your friend drown. Like, bro, come on, man. And
I remember I saw I had to I wasn't watching it live, but I was following it. And I literally went home that night and I pulled the episode back up and I rewatched it through. And I was like, that was one of the pop when his music hit was so good.
And George, he actually 4 days after he got hurt, he came and he hosted the show here. He said Rich offered him a spot to host 5 months prior. So he came in, bro, and he 1000% stayed. He had the cast or the brace. He had the crutches. He's limping around. Like I secretly took video of him, not in a creepy way, just to be like, let's see if he's really.
Nobody thought it was creepy.
Well, there were some people out there, but yeah, he committed, bro. He did the limp with the crutch. Like he did. He came in here for how many 2 shows?
Yeah,
and like
buddy.
We just assumed. I mean, people on Twitter and YouTube were like, "Is he really hurt?" I was like, "Look." if this guy's lying, then he should change his name to Denzel Pacino because he's the greatest actor of all time.
Denzel Pacino's a solid hotel alias.
So yeah, he. But of course, a lot of people didn't buy it to start with. But but George, once you got into wrestling, once you became a fan, I'm assuming once YouTube and everything came out, like most of us did, we start watching stuff. So did you go back and like try to discover wrestlers from different times, older wrestlers that you didn't have any knowledge of?
Well, the more I dove into it, HBK became a quick favorite of mine.
Oh man, makes sense.
Like just like the way that he controlled a crowd and how he just got everybody into a frenzy every time he was in there. Like he just knew how to control all the emotions. He put on the best shows.
Showstopper.
Like I really fell in love with that. And then when my buddy Manders finally showed me him versus the Undertaker, light versus dark, because I was like, oh yeah, this must be a good one. I was just like, wow, I get why people say that's the best WrestleMania event of all time. Like it, yeah, I get it. That thing was sick. And so HBK really stood out to me. And then honestly, one of the other guys, two of my other favorites right now, or just looking back on it, like I love Randy Orton.
Yeah, dude, the Viper.
I love Randy Orton, just throwing it up. Like he's so sick, dude. I'm a huge fan of him. And then going back and watching like Triple H when DX was just on fire, like that shit was so sick.
Yeah,
that shit was
they're having the best time.
Yeah, and Triple H was he was able to change his career. He plays the sledgehammer wielding bad guy, but he's also low key. He was one of the funniest dudes in wrestling. Whenever he chooses to be funny,
he really was.
He kind of ran the gamut on everything. Really,
he really did.
With your stardom in the NFL, and now you are one of the most recognizable wrestling fans. What has been? I mean, you got to do some cool stuff with The Rock. What's your highlight reel of all the cool things that you've been able to do with the WWE?
The coolest thing that happened to me first was when The Rock was doing Super Bowl introductions back in the 2019 Super Bowl.
Right.
Like they said, because no one the Monday Night Media show that you do, they take top 10 players and you do this gauntlet of media things behind the scenes. You're shooting all this content, right, that they're going to air on Sunday. And I get into I do 4 things. I get in this room hey, The Rock's going to introduce you. You're going to walk down this runway. I'm like, The Rock's going to introduce me? Sick. No idea. And as they say, I enter the room and The Rock's just standing there. He goes, "What's up?" I'm like, oh, what? And got a huge chest bump from him. It was awesome. We did the thing, and I get off. And this was right when his tequila was coming out, Terramana.
Yeah,
I think is what it is. And he had a bottle there, and I was like, "Hey, can I have your bottle of tequila?" And he was like, "I think this is the only bottle that we have." And he looks at his assistant. He was like, "Can you have this?" And she was like, "It's up to you." So he gave me the bottle of tequila, and then right before our group went on stage, me and 6 of us and Coach Shanahan took a shot of that tequila, which was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Did it go down smooth?
It was very tasty. I had a great time. It wasn't chilled. I'm a chilled tequila guy, but I still had a great time. Anytime The Rock gives you tequila, I'm going to drink it.
Take it.
So that was pretty cool. And then I'd say one of the other best memories I have is my first WrestleMania in Dallas. A couple years ago, I had, because the Dallas Cowboys Stadium is sick because they have this huge underground area for all the Hall of Famers to hang out at, and they let me walk around down there, and I got to hang out with The Rock. No, sorry, not The Rock. I got to hang out with Stone Cold for a little bit, and he could not have been nicer. Said hi to me, my whole family, brought my dad, my wife, some of my buddies, and then The Undertaker and his wife actually had a 30-minute conversation with my wife while I was talking to Stone Cold, and then Drew McIntyre's having a 20-minute conversation with my dad. And I was just looking around. I'm like, I can't believe that I get to experience this right now. My dad's favorite wrestler, Drew McIntyre, got him all of his shirts.
Drew's
My
the
dad,
man.
Love Drew.
Drew's the man. It's actually funny too. I actually Drew moved. He's in Nashville now, and so I randomly ran into him in a parking lot, and I just yelled and was like, "Hey, Drew, what's up, Drew McIntyre?" And he just kind of waved. I was like, that kind of walked up. I was like, oh, we've met a couple times. And like, once he recognized it was me, we talked for a little bit, but I was like, dude, he's such a nice guy. But those are some of the cooler moments. Like just the backstage stuff and just how like real everybody is and how kind everybody is. It's a very cool moment.
Me and TJ met Undertaker.
Here he goes with this, George.
And we met, so we meet Undertaker, right? This is like the third time I said it on the show.
I have a feeling it ain't gonna be the last time.
No, we meet Undertaker, right? We have Fanatics Fest.
Yeah, Fanatics Fest in New York this summer.
In New York, and like I got my Attitude Era Big Eagle. Like I'm getting it signed by like. There's only 6 people that I want to sign this belt. It's still got the F on it. Like I've had this belt since I was 10 years old. I got Triple H, got Mick Foley when we had Mick Foley on. And then Taker is there. So I go up to Taker and I start talking to Taker and he signs it. And I say, this guy over here is my podcast partner, yada, yada, yada. When TJ meets Taker, he calls him Mark.
Impressive.
I didn't.
What a power move.
It was. I didn't even know what I was thinking, George. It was just like.
Are you trying to alpha the Taker? That's kind of crazy.
No, listen to me, man. It just was one of those. It was one of those things. Like he's doing the podcast now. Undertaker's probably like the last guy who kind of let the curtain down, kind of let you in, right? So he's doing the pod. I've heard people call him Mark, and George, I've said this every time he brings up. I have no earthly idea why I shook that man's hand and was like, "Hey, Mark, nice to meet you." And then it literally took 5 seconds. I went, "Oh," and then I said, "Hey, I got to apologize." I said, "I called you by your government. I did not mean that. I'm so sorry."
Trying to get us kicked out,
and
bro.
he's like, "You know what? The older I get, the less I'm."
It was crazy,
about
bro.
that. But yeah, I literally, George, I got a little bit like, oh, what did I just do?
Yeah.
What did I just say? Like, I can't do that. Yeah. So
that's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I will say one of the other cool things, one of my favorite things about WWE is I've got to like meet all the camera guys.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Stu.
They're all so cool and they're so nice. Yep. And then like, if I ever stay after the show, we'll drink a beer together and it's just always a fantastic time. Like they're all so nice.
Yep.
And I also like, if you ever just go to a wrestling event, like watch them work. It's pretty incredible.
It's NASCAR, bro. It's F1. Like it's insane.
People don't understand. I've worked in production for 20 years here in Los Angeles. So I have a fairly good idea. You're front of the camera. I was always behind the camera. So I have a pretty good idea of how that works. People don't get how necessary and valuable those cameramen are because they're the ones directing the performers, like walking down to the ramp, coming back from the ramp. They're learning the timeouts. Like, shout out to Stu and all the guys we marked out when we met Stu because everyone has heard John Cena over the years say, "Stu, let's go to work." And I'm gonna have D'Lo put that picture of Stu right here when he edits this. But so we got to talk to a bunch of the cameramen. We want to have them on the pod, to be honest. But they are invaluable in getting the product done. Like for instance, you talk about WrestleMania. What was it, 38, 39 here in Los Angeles, where you had a little thing.
Yep.
The whole Shane McMahon against The Miz thing, where Shane, injured his quad and went down.
McMahon curse.
Immediately, Snoop Dogg went in the action with The Miz. That was the cameraman there, kind of directing Miz and Snoop. And, Miz was on the show and he kind of told us how he just told Snoop what to do. But if you look, you'll see the camera guys like giving them orders. They're taking it from the truck or from Triple H and Gorilla. But they're invaluable.
It's pretty incredible. And the fact that people can, because like I've seen, there was the WrestleMania that was in MetLife. It was one of the, I can't remember who it was, but like one of the guys, there is a tag team and one of the guys like got hurt like 5 minutes into the match. And the fact that these wrestlers can just pivot at WrestleMania and put on a great match when someone just can't do it anymore. I mean, it's just such an incredible thing to me to watch them work. And like, I go back to like when I'm backstage and I see people talking it out before they go out there. I'm like, you guys are very talented because it is like blowing my brains right now. Listening to you guys talk about, okay, I'm gonna do this and you're gonna do this. I'm just like, wow, good for you. Good for you guys.
Yeah. Being privileged enough to watch wrestlers put a match together is pretty incredible.
I know they're like, "Do you want to go to your seats?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to watch this before I go before I go watch it out there because I'm going to see it twice and it's awesome."
Yeah, it's just something about being back there and kind of because you don't want to see Mickey Mouse with his head off.
Yeah,
but like it's just something so cool to see them in their element, to see them in gorilla, also celebrating each other when things go well and like. Yeah, that ability to pivot is why how I try to explain to people who don't get it. Because like there's still a bunch of people who don't get it. They do what I do live. And like they don't get redos. They don't get cut. All right. Yeah, like it's just like, dude, we need to do this right now. And if you don't do it right, such and such might not be able to go home to their family. Man. It's so important. And I tell anybody who's not into wrestling, just go. You gotta go.
Just it's so fun. WrestleMania in Philadelphia. I brought 6 of my buddies. None of them have ever been to a WWE event.
Oh wow!
And so their first, or like maybe an event, like a live show. Like none of them have been to WrestleMania, and they were all just blown away because that was the one too. Was that when The Rock came out?
Yeah,
it was insane.
It was like the event. It was like the Infinity War Endgame.
Insane. And they're all just blown away. They're like, "Oh my God, this is the craziest thing ever." I'm like, "It is. It's so much fun." Like, just dive into it a little bit and let the wrestling show take you on an adventure, man. Just find 1 or 2 people you like, follow their storyline, and then you're going to fall in love with it. Like, and the live shows are they're so much fun.
It's different.
It really is.
You got a good crowd.
One of my favorite live shows I ever went to was the first WrestleMania I went to was the one in New Orleans. And that was when Daniel Bryan came back, which is sick because I caught his shirt when he took it off and threw it into the crowd. Yeah, I caught it.
Okay.
It didn't fit. It was a medium.
Extra medium.
Yeah, it did not fit. And so, but that was fun to catch. I can't believe I did that. But that whole week I got down to New Orleans like on Tuesday. And so the whole week I'm just going to all the wrestling shows, all the indie shows. Right. And that's where I found Pentagon. I went to a random show. And it was a lucha show. And I saw him and I saw the Cero Miedo thing. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And I saw him wrestle like 5 times over the course of the week. And I was like, "This guy is sick." I mean, just like his swagger in a ring and his confidence, like there's just something about him. Yeah, he's so good. And so I watched him wrestle all these times. And then luckily the next year, I think it was in New York, I went to a show he was at and I got to meet him. We did a jersey exchange. Like I got his mask and I gave him one of my jerseys and signed it.
Oh, that's dope.
And so then ever since then, me and Pinta we talk every once in a while on social media and stuff. And then we played down in Mexico. He was at the game, gifted me a custom mask. I mean, dude, in my closet back there, I got 20 lucha masks and half of them are his. And like, oh, dude, the lucha masks are sick. Like watching Lucha Underground is so fun for me because it's just such a different style. It's so fast. Yeah. It's chaotic. Like I thoroughly enjoyed watching those. But yeah, watching like you can go to a live show and just fall in love with a random person. You're like, "Oh, dude, this guy's sick."
I halfway did expect you to have a lucha because I know about your love for him. I've heard you mention. I halfway expected him to have one on.
I almost did. I thought about. I did get my Stone Cold shirt for the day, so I thought I could at least do that.
Just. Oh man, wrestling, bro. Like,
you could bro out about wrestling all day.
It's just amazing, like it just the way it brings people together. And you say live shows to me, and I've actually mentioned this to wrestlers, and they've agreed. House shows to me are so much fun because they really get to do stuff that they don't normally get to do. They get to interact more with the crowd. They get to maybe do moves that they don't normally do, and they don't have to really hold up to the TV storylines that are going on. Yeah. House shows are amazing. Like, and I've always said that the greatest house show wrestler that I've ever seen, I think, is Eddie Guerrero, because Eddie Guerrero played to the people in the front row, but more so like a guy like me who was in the Civic Arena at Pittsburgh watching at the very top. It was like I felt like everything he did was for us up there. But yeah, house shows, they get to just have fun, man, and it's a fun time.
It is. Yeah, it's not as like amped up. You know, you don't have all this spectacle of stuff, but like you get matchups that you wouldn't normally get. You get to see guys wrestle against people they normally wouldn't. I'm pretty sure one house show I went to, it was like Seth versus Randy Orton. I was like, this is sick. Like, you don't see that. You don't see that every day. Like that was really cool. Yeah. Oh, dude, they're so much fun.
Randy met his wife at a house show.
Yeah.
And
that's sick.
And so how they tell the story is, you know, he saw her and he's doing his match, but he keeps peeping, and he goes up to her, drops the coldest line. He said basically that he needs to know what all of this is all about.
Wow.
And they obviously married with kids, and I don't think WWE's been back to that town since. It was like one of those moments of
like if it didn't
had to happen, dude. Had to happen. Wow. So shout out to house shows. Also, they used to do Montez Ford and Roman Reigns got a couple of matches at house shows.
Really?
Yeah, bro. You gotta check it out, dude.
Good.
So who's your
house shows are sick?
I know Seth is your boy. Who are some other people you want to shout out that are on the current rosters that you peep?
My second favorite wrestler is Charlotte Flair. She's fantastic. Woo! Like there's nobody like her aura when she walks in is just like just owns the whole arena.
You see it.
It just is what it is. Like she just the longest, slowest walk. Like, just look at me. I'm amazing. Like, it's awesome. Just so much ego. I love it. And then but their in-ring ability to just moonsault, flip, do everything. Like, she's just so talented, and she does she's technical too. So it's just fun to see that. I absolutely love that. The Usos, since they switched up their vibe, was that 4 or 5 years ago. They have been some of those entertaining. They've been some of those entertaining wrestlers to me, that I've seen. And then, is it Jimmy or Jay who does the yeet?
Jay. Well, Jimmy started it. Jimmy started it, took it to the next level.
Jay ran with it,
dude. I mean, is there a more electric entrance right now?
No, the whole crowd is doing it?
Man. I mean, that's so fun.
And George, the fact that it looks like they're kind of wanting to turn him heel, it's a head scratcher for me. Yeah, this guy's the most organically over guy they've had in a long time, and it seems like now you don't want to ride that wave. I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that.
Ride the wave.
What about?
I mean, it's amazing.
Let's talk about someone else that I think we all love. She was a big Niners fan too. How about Bailey?
My girl Bailey.
Yeah,
man, I love Pam. She's so nice. She's so nice to me and my family. Every time she sees my family, she talks to them more than she talks to me. She couldn't be nicer. And whenever she's in the Bay, one of the coolest things, Bailey was dealing with an injury one time, and she asked me, "Hey, do you have any connections out in the Bay?" And I hooked her up with my acupuncturist and my fascia specialist. And now she hangs out with them all the time, working with them. And so Bailey's been nothing but awesome to me. I got to throw a little WrestleMania. We called it Kittle Mania party in Las Vegas last year. Yeah. And she showed up to that, hung out with me all night. Absolutely fantastic. She's just such a nice person. And I need Bailey to get her push again, because she's a fantastic wrestler. And every time she's in the ring, she's awesome. And I remember the WrestleMania in Philadelphia when she was wrestling, the whole stadium for the entire match was doing, hey, Bailey. Ooh. I want to know, would you be my girl? Dude,
yeah.
The whole match, it was so cool. That was one of my favorite experiences. So yeah, Bailey and Charlotte Flair, two of my favorite by far. And then Seth and Randy Orton are those would be my two guys. I can never get past. Yeah. I love Randy Orton. And dude, I will say LA Knight's been really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, he's awesome. Oh, and then I'm a huge Cody Rhodes guy, because I actually I fell into Cody Rhodes when he went, what was the first wrestling show he went to after WWE? Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just randomly fell into his opening night of Ring of Honor. I was just watching with one of my buddies when I was in college. And his first thing he does is I think he does his match when he leaves, he just double birds the camera and walks off. And I was like, I love this guy.
This speaks to me.
I was like, I love that. I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I got really lucky too at the Philadelphia WrestleMania. I sat behind his wife, and I got to see the cool interaction when he comes up to her before their match, and they have their moment. I was like, this reminds me of me before a football game. I go see my wife on the sideline right before I go to war, and So that was really cool. So I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I actually have a custom weightlifting belt that says Nightmare on it, and that's what I lift at the stadium. So every time I do lower body, I got my Nightmare belt on just to channel that energy.
That's shout out Cody.
Yeah, I remember seeing you. You were sitting behind Pat McAfee, right, for night 2. Yeah, I could see you at the corner. So let's just one moment. Speaking of Seth, that really, if there was a roof on the stadium, would have blown off. Drew McIntyre, who we spoke about, he wins the world championship. He beats Seth Rollins, and then when we talk about get out of there, I was saying the same thing. Here's Seth or Drew. He's got the title. He goes over. He presents it to his wife, which is a great thing. It was a cool moment. And then he looks over and he sees Charles Montgomery Punk there, and he wants to go talk trash, except you don't go talk trash to Cookie Monster Punk. And then he gets, tore up a little, and then Damian Priest's music hits. And he comes barreling down, and you had a front row
old
seat.
School Judgment Day.
It happened right in front of you. So tell us what it was like when you saw Priest. Because, like I said, I have a picture somewhere, and you can see you in the background. What was it like? Because, like I said, he came right in front of you when he nailed Drew.
Yeah, it was an out of body experience, I would say. Like, just because, like I said, I'm a Drew fan. I love Drew. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan. I'm like, Drew, run.
Man. Yeah.
Run. Yeah. And then CM Punk just destroys him. I'm like, no, it can't be happening.
Not like this.
And then Priest runs out. I'm like, no, Drew, run, roll, throw the belt out of the stadium. Like, just get out of there, dude. So, like, it was heartbreaking for me, but anytime you can witness a cash in, I think is just one of the coolest.
It was electric.
Yeah. It's always good. Like, what I'm disappointed of is I was like 1 year late, because when Seth Rollins did the heist of the century, that was so sick. That was in Levi Stadium. So like I was like a year away from getting drafted to the Niners.
Right. Oh wow.
Yeah, so I just missed it, but I need WrestleMania to go back to Levi's so I can, because I could have a lot of fun at WrestleMania and Levi's.
Oh yeah, I bet. I can only imagine.
I would have. Well, I would have a good time.
There's another big event happening at Levi's next year that I'm sure you'd much rather be a part of, and that is what is that? Oh yeah,
the World Cup.
Yeah, well, that too. That'll be here in SoFi, which is about 11 minutes up the road. But no, that's the Super Bowl, which I'm sure you
cool.
You knew
pretty
that.
Cool.
But since we're talking football and wrestling, let's see if we can get aggregated with the WNBA crowd too. I know for a fact that your wife Claire, she was kind of Caitlin before Caitlin at Iowa. Let's talk about the missus, man, and her hoop skills.
Let's see. I'll tell you this. My wife is an absolute freak of nature athlete. She was like dunking a tennis ball as like a 14-year-old.
What?
As a 9th grader. Yeah, she had the hops. My wife. Yeah, she was fantastic. She ended up having her basketball career ended. She had 5 knee surgeries over the course of high school and college. Kind of sucks. So like she was able to perform at the level she wanted to. But when she did play, my favorite thing about my wife was that she would average like between 4 and 6 points a game, 10 rebounds, and almost 5 fouls. She was gritty.
Gritty. Yeah, that's a family that like to hit, right?
She'd be like, she's throwing elbows and stuff like that. And so I was always just so happy, like, because I'd go to all of her games because I was trying to convince her to date me.
Of course, smart.
She fell for it. But yeah, no, I always loved going to her games. And she played the game like a football player. And I was like, this is so sick. Like, she was just always violent. And I was like, I love this chick. She has the right mindset.
Theme, bro. I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah.
He liked it and he put a ring on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did. So like, I'll say this, if we played 1-on-1, I would win because I just don't think she could keep up with me. But I think my winning percentage against her in a game of like horse, I've maybe beaten her like 3 times over the course of our 10-year relationship.
Oh yeah.
12-year relationship. Yeah, maybe. She's a shooter. She's a shooter. She kicks my ass.
Well, let's let me keep it violent a little bit because I got our number one question. Let's go. So George Kittle,
I got a feeling this could go 2 parts too, but let's see where this goes to start.
George Kittle, you are in a bar, enjoying yourself. Probably surrounded by some Cowboys and Rams fans. But 50 dudes are in that bar, and they do not like George Kittle.
A lot of Raider fans in that bar, too.
Yeah. I need you to pick a team of you in 4
let's give him 5.
5? Oh, okay.
Because he's
all right.
Out of
a team of you in 5 WWE superstars of any era. to make sure George Kittle is getting to the car?
If you're in a bar, Stone Cold's number one pick.
Number one pick, baby.
What?
Yeah. You're in a bar.
What?
He knows how to use a beer truck. Yeah. He knows how to spray beer. He knows how to use a beer bottle. And we'll probably be a couple drinks deep too. So I go Stone Cold.
That makes sense.
Right after that, Roman Reigns. He's just going to spear everybody for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Brock Lesnar. He's going to spear everybody for me. That's like those three no-brainers. Then just because we talked about him earlier, I'm going to go Mark Henry.
Oh yeah.
I'll just be right behind him. Yeah. He's like the center. I'm just going to ride him right out of there.
Was it a Power 17 trap or something like that?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then let's see. Last but not least, I want like the scariest version of Kane that you could possibly get.
That might be when he lost the mask. I think that was probably when he got. When he took that, it looked like Wreck-It Ralph under there. And I think he was a little sadistic at that point.
Yeah, man.
Then
so Stone Cold, Roman, Brock, Mark Henry, and Kane.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, not bad. And then honestly, honorable mention. Oh my God, why am I spacing? Who's the sock guy?
Mick Foley.
Yeah, Mick Foley. Mick Foley would be honorable mention.
But who do you want? Do you want
people
Mick Foley?
Would be terrified of him.
Do you want Mankind? Do you want Cactus Jack? Do you want Dude Love? Which one?
No, I want Mankind.
Mankind. Okay.
He's sadistic.
I think he'd just be crazy enough where people might not mess with us.
Straight out the boiler room, Mankind.
All right, so he's scary.
So George, let me ask you this. We've got the Survivor Series coming up next month.
Don't we?
Yeah, it's actually going to be in San Diego, couple hours down the road here. So let me ask you. I need you to put together a traditional Survivor Series team. Okay, you and 4 other people, but these are NFL players.
Ooh.
So give me 4 guys that you feel. Because obviously the physicality, everyone in the NFL, but it's got to be someone who has a little bit of flair too, some showmanship, someone who can, move the crowd, as they say. So George Kittle's Survivor Series team of NFL players would include.
Do you want me to try to use guys for my own team or not one for my own team?
George, I'm not here to tell you what to do. You pick whoever you want. I think it might, if we expand throughout the league, it could be cool, or you could just do your own team. Up to you.
My number one pick forever and always will be Trent Williams because is one. Okay. Well, that's one bad dude. Yeah, the silverback. He is terrifying. You know what? Being in a room with Trent, I don't know what made me think of this several years ago, but I'm like, there's not a lot of I go to work every single day, and there's a couple guys in my locker room that if they just decided to punch me as hard as they could in the face, I could die. And Trent Williams is one of those people.
That's a random ass thought, George.
Because I was just like this. Yeah, he could he could just smoke me in the jaw and I could die. And so he's definitely on my team because Trent Williams, I line up next to him half the plays and we like to hit people together. So that'd be one. My next one I really just came to my head instantly was Max Crosby because he's an entertainer. He knows how to entertain. He can draw the crowd. He's a freak athlete, 100% effort every single play. And I bet you he's really good on a mic too. You get him a mic, he'll ruffle some feathers.
I like that.
I like that. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I want to go somewhere who's with a lot of flair. I'm gonna pick. This could be surprising. I'm gonna go with Devontae Adams because he's a freak athlete, right? Fast, athletic, can make guys miss. And he's also an entertainer. He also, he wears the black visor, so he's kind of mysterious. He looks like he's just going to work every single day.
Yeah.
And he's got a Taco Bell in his crib. You know what I'm saying?
He does. He could provide food for the whole team.
True
strategy.
Strategy. And then last pick of the entire NFL, someone that I would want. I'm going to try to not just go with the biggest and fastest, meanest person. Who would be really fun to have on my team? Let's go. Gosh, I think the obvious answer, I'm stuck between my own teammate of Nick Bosa because
what I was thinking.
He's an absolute freak.
Let's give him 5. We'll give him 5.
I would go Nick Bosa because he's an absolute freak. And he's just so strong and he gets the job done unless you put like 2 to 3 people to block him. So like he would ruffle some feathers out there. And then lastly, I want someone quick and explosive. You know what? Like, how funny would it be? Have you guys seen, like, I'm going to pick Christian McCaffrey because have you seen like him and Trent Williams stand up at the podium? They call him Robin. Was that
Robin Big?
Robin Big. And so like I can see Trent Williams throwing him. I can see him throwing Christian as a weapon in the other team.
Kind of like Obafemi tossed Javon Evans, just picks up CMC and tosses him into a crowd of people.
Or Kevin Nash throwing Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Well, Christian's a little bit bigger than Ray, though. Yeah.
That's
by the way, George.
Christian, he'd be good. Christian always gets mad at me because I always compare him to shorter players, and Christian's actually like 6 feet tall.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he looks. Everyone thinks he's little because his first part of his career he lined up next to Cam Newton, who's one of the biggest football players I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
Yeah, I think about it. I've met Christian. Do you remember seeing the video from when he was a kid? Where they were playing like Pop Warner football, I think on, and he scored a touchdown. He reached into his sock, he pulled out a Sharpie and he signed the football and threw it into the stands. Did you ever see?
I've seen that.
Okay, so a couple years ago, we were in Miami for the Super Bowl. We took the Eisen show to Miami and he was a guest and I got him to recreate that. I gave him a Sharpie. I have a football. So I ran the video and he goes down, pulls the Sharpie out of his sock, signs his football and throws it. And I matched the 2 videos up. Yeah. And so, I have that. And I have the football. It's sitting on my mantle, the signed Christian McCaffrey.
I thought you was going to say that you recorded the Pop Warner video.
No, I'm not that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I was going to say, I was like, you were at that game.
That game was like the year 2000, though. So,
listen, dog, I don't know, man. I don't know what you be doing.
I be doing a lot.
Hey, you do you, man. You do you, man.
All right. Got anything else? Can we let the man breathe?
I think after a big win last night and spending time talking wrestling with us, George is probably tired. But I do have one last thing, George. You made mention during your post-game presser about fantasy, saying sorry to the fantasy football players who didn't start you. One, like, how annoying is it, or do you find it funny when people kind of dump their fantasy problems on you? How do you take that?
You know what? Some of them are really funny. And like when other people are Venmo requesting me for their missed bets, I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do about it.
Right.
Like, I mean, like, hey, you know, if I have a bad game and I have like several drops, which knock on wood, I haven't done that in a long time. Then you know what? Yeah, you could be mad at me, but like, it's not like they're throwing me the ball. I'm not catching it. Like, you know, it is what it is. That's how football happens. And our team is a team that we run the ball heavy. That's kind of what we do. So, you know, would I prefer to have 8 to 10 targets and a bunch of yards and touchdowns? Of course, because I love catching the football. I love running over people. But this wasn't in the cards last night. But you know, I do find humor in some of it. You know, even like, dude, this is fun. So every game for the last couple of years, I bring veterans or active military service members to each game, home and on the road.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then for all the home games, I hung out with them for a little bit after the game. So we had like what did we have? We had like 5 Navy SEALs and 5 Wounded Warriors Project guys there. And one of the Wounded Warriors guys goes, "Hey man, you crushed me in fantasy tonight." I was like, my bad, man.
Yeah,
hey, Coach Shanahan's right over there. You can go. Don't complain to him, man. Don't yell at Mac Jones. Don't yell at me.
By the way, 5 Navy SEALs would be a nice bar fight crew too. I'm feeling real nice. Well, George, November the 9th, you will be in town. The Niners are playing the Rams. Maybe we should try to hit that game up and go show some support too.
That's at Levi's.
Levi's. Oh, okay. Well,
damn, that's a far drive.
That's a far drive. You know,
it's a 40-minute flight and like an $80 ticket.
All right, maybe, you know. I mean, look, he's now part of the NCW family.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
We made a pact.
You know, hey, Rich will pay for it. Rich will pay.
That's my boy.
You get it, George.
That's my boy.
No, wait. Rich is calling me. Yeah, you want to pay for their private jet? Yeah, he's got you guys.
Yeah, you heard him. I mean, I believe George Kittle never lied to me before.
Yeah, that's true.
Why would I?
You know, speaking of Bailey, I went to a Niner game last year. I went to see them play the Bears. Bailey actually, was it the ring the bell that you guys do to start? Yeah, she did that. And then George went out, and I think you had 3 touchdowns that game, if I'm
I had a great game that game. No, I don't think I had one touchdown.
But you had like 11 catches.
I had a bunch of yards.
Yeah.
I had like 150 yards.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was literally like every time it was almost like Fast Times at Ridgemont High where Jefferson just tackled everyone on Lincoln. Like it was just like every time it was like, oh, catch by Kittle. First down by Kittle. I was like, is anyone out there but Kittle? Like, it was
there wasn't that game. I had a great game. That was fun.
Isn't it crazy that like Seth Rollins goes for the Bears, CM Punk is from Chicago, and they hate each other and they just won't agree on.
Yeah, you think that they'd find some cohesion?
Go to a Bears game. Nope.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, right. No, figure it out.
I can't.
George, this has been fun, man.
Appreciate you so much, brother.
Yeah, I hope you have fun during the interview. I told you it was gonna be chill, man.
Easy peasy.
Man, I much appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Anytime you want to just talk some shit or whatever, you are always able to come here and kick down the door, come into the NCW home, man.
Or as we like to call it now, ESPN
CW.
See, because George Kittle, I'm not sure if you're aware, we became the first wrestling podcast on ESPN's platform. No big deal.
Just saying,
So congratulations, boys.
Thank you.
I'll say we should do like a post WrestleMania recap. That's what we should do.
So down. Done. Absolutely. In Vegas too.
Done.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we just complain about everything.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. But by the way, we need that Kittle mania you were talking about. That Kittle mania.
If we do it again this year, I'll be sure to get you guys the invite.
Absolutely, man.
Or maybe we go down to Tight End U and we do a pod down there. I mean, the possibilities.
Yeah,
the possibilities.
Shout out Tight End U.
We'll hit you, George. But thank you so much, man.
Appreciate
Enjoy
you,
the rest of your day, bro.
George Kittle, everybody.
Thanks, boys.
And there you have it.
Wow, man.
Jam-packed episode. Sorry, I thought Don Bowie was going to come in here and try to beat us. But yes, we are out of time. TJ, please tell the people where to find us.
Well, like Hannibal from 18, first of all, I love it when the plan comes together. You and I, we sat down, we talked about recently what we wanted to do and kind of merge these sports and getting George, like I said to him, he was the first name that popped up. So that was really dope to be able to do that. But if you want to follow all the action, if you want to see the interview with Fraxiom and George Kittle, you want to see everything we've done, here's how you do it. You go to our socials on Twitter, X, at There's No Contest. On Instagram, we're No Contest Wrestling Podcast. It's a little long, but what you do. On TikTok, we're No Contest Wrestling Pod. And you can watch every video that comes out with everyone from CM Punk to now George Kittle. We found, all you do is you go to YouTube, you go to the Rich Eisen Show YouTube page, which is now over 1 million subscribers, which, means 1 million eyes can potentially look at our stuff. And, or you just type in No Contest Wrestling and everything we do will pop up. Also, you find us at Apple Music, or Spotify,
wherever
on
you listen
Amazon.
to podcasts.
Anywhere where podcasts or I almost said sold, but they're not sold.
Wherever you listen
to your podcast. So, just you look for us, you're going to find us because we're going to be there. We're international, baby. I mean, we're international. I just found this out. They know us up in London. Hello, bruv. Bottle of water. I went to a little sweet shop near the edge of town to get 1,000 brown M&Ms for Ozzy, or else he wouldn't go on, bruv. That was Dell, the roadie from Wayne's World 2. Peep it. Man, we're international, baby.
Yeah,
what can I say?
Thank you to Fraxiom. Thank you to George Kittle. And thank you all of y'all. Make sure y'all have a good day, but not too good, because who the hell do you think you are? Tyrese Halliburton, pick up the phone.
Yes. And as always,
bye, Miss Parker.